Good morning. We're back. Hello, Ilmanian. How are you? Good morning. I guess it's not morning necessarily morning your time, but hello, hello. How are you doing? Oh, things are looking okay. Hello, Bob Knoll. How are you? We're back. We're back for more streaming, for more chatting. Welcome to Code and Coffee and Chat with Stephen Freeborn and chat. Will today be the day Stephen makes actual progress on his Stripe API integration? Who knows? Only time will tell. I am going to drink coffee, and I am going to yap. Doing well. I see chat on screen. New angle. Yes. Yep. New angle. So I changed the angle because yesterday I ended the stream with a horrible headache, and I've been having a lot of pain in my neck the last couple weeks after streaming, and it all started when I adjusted the position of my monitors. I moved my monitors lower, and that has been problematic, I think, for my neck. So I moved my monitors back up, and then I moved the camera to the side. So now you guys are over here instead of over there. So welcome to the new angle. And I also changed the chat so that the chat doesn't have to depend on my streamer bot chat window being on screen. You know, new year, new stream. Hello, Ulas. Good morning, bro. Do you consider getting a new chair? I need a new chair. You are definitely right about that. As my wife alluded to yesterday, I'm just a cheap bastard, man. I don't want to. I don't want a cheap chair. I want a nice chair, and I don't want to spend the money on the nice chair. So I guess I'm destined for neck pain. But here we are. Akamaha, good morning, good evening. Invest in a good chair, man. All of you guys are just being so kind to me, trying to take care of my sitting needs. Good morning, good evening, and good night. Yeah, it's all those things, right? Because time zones are weird. Time zones are very confusing things. Get a chair sponsorship ASAP, dude. If I could get Ermin Miller to give me an embody, I either want an Ermin Miller embody or I want a Fern Hawthorne. I think is the other chair. I want one of those two chairs, but they're both $1,000 chairs. I've been looking at Ermin Miller and Steelcase shares the last couple of days. So freaking, they're terribly expensive, man. The Steelcase ones I think are a little crazy because the Steelcase ones don't even look super fancy. They look like your common office chair. You know, they want lots of money for them. So all the developers I work with at work, they all say, "Hey, look, Steven, you're gonna spend 40 hours a week in your chair for many, many years. It's worth it." And so that's the way I need to look. I need to look at it the same way, Bob, you look at the mechanical keyboard we talked about yesterday, where yeah, it's $400 or $350, whatever, but it's literally the tools you use to do your job and earn a living and a livelihood, and that's the way I need to look at the chair. And I just need to get over whatever mental block I have about not paying a lot of money. I use a gaming chair, which is pretty useful and comfy. Well, if you guys have chair recommendations, I would love to hear your chair recommendations. If you guys wouldn't mind dropping by the Discord, even just to put your chair recommendation in Discord and then leaving, that would be awesome. Hi, good evening. My presentation got good response. I thought it's going to complete in 30 minutes, but it went 1 hour plus. Wow. So was the 1 hour plus because people were asking a lot of questions? That's awesome, man. Congratulations. You know what that means? I think we need some claps. I think we need some sound effects. Hold 1 second, please. Good job, Amba. Killed it, man. I love hearing about people winning. Love it. Shudo, you know the backstore, they sell ergonomic chairs but cost a leg, so make sure you get the most comfy one. You know the backstore. What's the backstore? I've never heard of that. Ilmanian. I don't even have a chair. What do you do then, Ilmanian? Do you sit on a Bosu ball or a exercise ball like the Primogen? I use Zeo, but it is produced in Turkey, so I heard Secret Labs are good. Yes, I've heard Secret Labs are good too. I've not heard of DX Racing 199. Wow, new chat layout. Yeah, we got new chat layout. We got new angle. We got multi-streaming. We're a whole new stream over here. We're a whole new stream. It's pretty awesome, huh? Welcome to 2026 on Code, Coffee, and Chat. We're here and we're doing it big. In other words, that means I'm doing like the most basic things a person who streams can do. I'm actually trying to do a good job. New angle as well. Yep, new angle as well. Yep. The backstore is an ergonomic chair furniture store. Okay, let's look that up for a second. Yeah? Let's check that out, because I haven't heard of those guys. Let's see. The backstore. The backstore. It could also be because I have shitty posture sometimes, too. The backstore. Quality office chairs, ergonomic. Ooh, ergonomic recliners. What are their chair prices like? Shot by brand. Their website appears to not be responding. Oh, that's a Steelcase chair. Yeah, I think these guys must be resellers. It doesn't look like they have their own stuff, huh? The Steelcase, I've looked at Steelcase chairs. I just don't care for the look of Steelcase chairs myself. Akamaja. Hey, Steven, are you planning on any .NET streams? Oh, for sure. Yeah, for sure. We're going to work on .NET today. I mean, we're going to do C# backend development for the thing we're building today. Is there a particular type of .NET stream you're looking for? Because I will use C# and .NET. Imani, and I just sit on the floor. Oh, that's probably the healthiest thing to do. That's probably the best things for your knees and your hips and your ankles. I need to make up for yesterday's laziness. Wanted to go through the whole chapter, but didn't get to do it. Only a few pages. Well, I wouldn't call yourself lazy. Some days are just more productive than others, you know? Some days are just more productive than others. I wouldn't beat yourself up about it too much. Bro, how did you start streaming? I will, but need to actually start. What was your initial drive? My initial drive is the same thing it is today. I just I just enjoy it. Like it's just fun to make content. I feel when I make content, or it's the same thing with programming or coding or working out. When I make content, when I sit down and write code, when I go into the gym and work out, I feel better. I feel more motivated. I feel like I want to do more things. So I just try to find activities that make me feel that way, and then I pursue those things because I feel like they make me show up as a better husband and a better father and a better employee and a better, in all places in my life, I feel like I show up in a more positive way. So I try to make time for those things. I think if you do it out of obligation, it's always going to be tough, but I don't do it out of obligation. I just do it because I enjoy it and I want to, and I promise the moment I stop enjoying it and it doesn't give me energy, you won't probably see me here. Good morning, Mikea. How are you? Mikias. Hello, bro. How are you? I really like your coding stream and idea. I'm a CS student, and you remind me I'm learning for the love. Exactly. You don't have to be learning for the love, but I'm glad I was able to remind you of that. I mean, there are definitely programmers and developers who do just do it because they're good at it and it pays well, and that's fine too. I do it because I actually get a lot of fun out of it and enjoyment from it. Agree, RE Steelcase. At least the Erman Miller Arion is in the Museum of Modern Art, so there's also literally trash in the Museum of Modern Art, so I don't know how good of a compliment that is. Well, I think the Erman Miller chairs actually look like really nice chairs. I think the Erman Miller chairs look like you spent $1,000 on them. I don't think the Steelcase chair does. Duckboy, good. Checks clock. Day. Well, it's a good morning over here. I always say I will do it, but never actually start. The easiest way to go from saying you're going to do something and starting is to just do it right then. When you say, I'm going to start streaming, just open your phone, flip live, and go. Or if you say you're going to start working out, right then, get up, go outside, take a walk. The more time there is between the thought of action and the actual taking of said action, the less likelihood you are to actually follow through. Good morning, Ryan. How are you? To be honest, I did not understand why Erman Miller costs that much. I mean, it's definitely partly brand, It's like, why does Nike cost that much? Because it's Nike. You think it's worth using lazy git? I guess I'm using the inbuilt git on Zeditor. I like lazy git a lot. I don't think it's necessary. You could just get away with the command line, or you could get away with the git tools in Zed. You can get away with the git tools in pretty much any editor now. They're very good. But if you enjoy using lazy git, I say use it. You guys know my opinions on these things. Like, I just think if you find a tool that makes you want to use your tools more or do more work, incorporate that tool, right? And if that tool stops being enjoyable to use, stop using it, right? We're not married to these things. We can pick them up and put them down anytime we want. Lazy Git mostly for people who use Terminal as the primary editor. Yeah, for sure. That's who it's targeted at. But if you want to use Zed and use Lazy Git, go for it. Who am I to dictate your workflow? I'm great, still drunk from last night, so I'm not sure how long I'll be hanging around. Well, I'm glad you had a good night last night then, man. And feel free to stay as little or as long as you want, Ryan. Glad you're here, man. Good to see you. Thanks for being a member. You too, you last. Thanks for being a member. Appreciate you, man. D-Rot, you should try Jiu-Jitsu. It's like a Git-compatible Git alternative. It's much simpler, at least for smaller projects. Interesting. Jiu-Jitsu. So it's a version control. Can't talk. It's a version control tool. Is that what you're telling me? It's a version control tool. What'd you call it? Jujutsu. There we go. A Git compatible VCS that is both simple and powerful. Interesting. I love the name. The name is very cool. The name is very cool. So is the API, like, is the command very similar? Let's see if they have some examples. I mean, stepping away from Git is a pretty big step, right? That's like just chucking out a whole piece of technology. GitHub repo for GG, initial setup. Let's see, tutorial and bird's eye view. So you git clone, then you say JJ instead of git, obviously. Status. Describe. Oh yeah, so they're different commands. Man, that's a big ask, dude. You're just gonna throw out all your Git knowledge and learn some new version control tool? I don't know about that. I mean, I love the name, but I'm not sure I'm committed to learning a whole new version control. I wonder much random for economic furniture costs. I wonder what's R&D? Oh, you wonder how much R&D for economic furniture costs. I'm guessing it costs more than you would guess, but far less than you probably think. I don't know. Nah, I did not like it. Jiu-jitsu is the art of folding clothes while people still in them. Yeah, I love jiu-jitsu. That's actually why my ear's all fucked up. I don't know if you guys... I can't remember which ear it is. I think it's my left one. Or my right one. I don't know. One of my ears is all... If you've ever noticed that one of my ears is all bent out of shape, it's because of jiu-jitsu. It's built on top of Git, but it has a completely different workflow. Yeah, that's a tough ask, dear. I mean, I'm glad it's Git compatible, which means it'll probably work with all the existing kind of ecosystem of tools built on top of Git. But yeah, learning a new workflow is a big ask. You know what I mean? Hell no, bro. Let's see. JJ uses Git for storage, so it's not necessarily chucking. I cannot talk this morning. Chucking out Git? Yeah. I guess what I mean is, like, from how I interact with Git, right? Is like we're kind of starting over in some ways. More than you would guess. Less. Yeah, I don't know where I got that pseudo. I made that up. It's nonsense. Don't repeat it. All right. Should we do some codes? Should we do the codes? I'm going to write some codes, sir. When you get a chance, you should check out that web browser Nix I mentioned yesterday. The code is beautiful. Well, I can't understand the codes because I don't know Lisp, but I'm happy to take a peek at it. What's it called? Nix? Nixed? I wonder how they pronounce that. I wonder how Google Translate pronounce that. Actually, let's see how the speaker bot pronounces this. I prefer Nix over Zen browser.
I prefer Nixed over Zen browser.
Nixed. Okay, Nixed. We'll go with what he said. Also, chat. Also, chat this.
Good morning. Welcome to the third stream of the year. Only 362 more to go.
That's kind of crazy when you start counting the days like that, man. The year feels like it's not very long at all. The hackers browser. Ooh. They know their audience, don't they? That was golden. It's true though. They must justify the chair cost somewhat. Oh, for sure they justify it, right? They have to justify it, but it's expensive, man. It's a lot of money. Nice OBS setup. Any tips? Oh, thanks, man. It's not OBS. It is. I'm actually using Meld Studio. My only tip with setting up the scenes and stuff for your stream is really just go with what looks good to you. Like, make sure it's reflective of your aesthetics and what you enjoy and what you like. And it's always difficult to try to find a balance between like how much stuff to put on screen and what's the most important stuff to put on screen. And I just go with your gut. Don't fuss over it too much, you know. I think at the end of the day, you can always experiment. You know, if you're gonna stream a lot, you have lots of hours to experiment with different setups. So don't sweat it too much. It's like my grandma used to say. My dad's dad, she passed away actually not too long ago. She used to say, you know, don't sweat the small stuff, and the secret is it's all small stuff. I've always loved that. It's stuck with me all these years. Good morning, command bar. You may have to add GitHub to the query. Oh, yeah, that's fair. We probably don't want to just look at the browser itself. Next browser GitHub. I won't probably be able to understand what's happening in this code, but I'm happy to look at it. This is the Lisp code with all the parentheses. Maybe we start with the tests. Ooh, they have benchmarks. Obviously, you have to have a renderer. Doesn't look like they added any tests there. They just have a to-do to add tests, it looks like. Huh. I mean, it looks like organized code. I'm not sure what any of it's doing, you know. I'm not a Lisp developer. But it looks like, I mean, there's a lot of code in one file, which as a C# developer makes me go, ah! But other than that, yeah, I mean, yep. I mean, what can you say about code you can't read? It looks like a cool browser, though. They don't have dark mode, which is a knock on them, on their website. It definitely looks like a technical person's browser. Like they said, a hacker's browser. Looks cool. I'm gonna stick with Zen though. I don't think it works on Windows yet. Ah, fair enough. Can't expect everybody to support every OS. By the way, I'm installing Arch. Well, command bar, good luck with that. You last. By the way, biggest advice for 2026: customize your alias according to workflow. You will like it at a level that just give my name to your next child. So customize your Git aliases. Is that what you're talking about, Elas? Or what do you like about the Zen browser? The only thing I really like about the Zen browser compared to Edge, Bob Knoll, is I like the fact that this bar is collapsible, and I also like that the top bar is collapsible. So basically, when I show it on screen, it maximizes the amount of screen real estate I can use, and it looks very minimalistic. That's really the only things like I like over Edge. I just use Brave. I've heard lots of people use Brave. Brave is kind of privacy minded, right? That's for folks who are they're trying to protect their data more than anything. Is the open page Vimium? No, the page I was showing on screen was Nix browser was the page I was showing on screen. Yeah, I'm still installing with the black box that shall not be named. Wonderful. Fantastical. So seriously, how did you learn how to use all these technologies? And do you always remember? Fantasticals, which technologies? You mean like C#, .NET, TypeScript, those technologies? Because that's just time in the saddle, man. And I don't always remember. I look stuff up all the time. If you've hung around any of my streams, I asked the dumbest questions. Yesterday, I looked up how to delete all records in a SQL table. because I typed delete star from payments instead of delete from payments. So I don't remember everything. But some things I do remember, and the things I do remember are just because I use them a lot. Brave is good in general, except developing, in my opinion. Nice. Okay. In my opinion, the background could be blurred a little bit, but the new viewing angle is quite good. Well, thank you very much, Duck Boy. I appreciate that. I don't know. So this angle does not have the same. What do they call that? It's not the focal. Is it the focal length or the aperture? It doesn't go down to the same aperture stop as the other lens. So the other lens was a 30 millimeter 1.6, and this is a 16 millimeter 4.0. So it doesn't create the same shallow depth of field effect as the other lens. I'd have to buy a new lens. I have a lens that I'd like to buy, but it's $800 and I don't want to spend $800. What about Brave and LibreWolf? I don't know anything about those browsers, but I've heard of Brave. I don't know about this Nix thing. The whole website is mega light mode, not very hacker friendly. Maybe it's for a very, very particular kind of hacker, Bob Knoll. Very, very particular kind of aesthetic. Terminal aliases. Okay, yeah, I think a lot of the PowerShell commands I use are actually like Linuxy aliases to their PowerShell equivalents or their PowerShell cousins in most cases. Ryan, yeah, the lack of dark mode is a bit of a knock, but they just released the pre-release back in 2024. Bro, if you built a browser, I'm gonna cut you a lot of slack. Like I'm sure you had way more important things to do building your browser than adding dark mode to a website and listening to some idiot in his basement criticize you for not having dark mode on your website. Grand Admiral Thong, I would love to see the 16:9 video stream ratio. Well, Grand Admiral Thong, your wish is my command. So I'm going to give you two options, okay? Look, I'm even giving you options. First one, Grand Admiral Thrawn. That name gets me every time. You can watch horizontally on YouTube if you become a member here. One second, let me get the link. There you go. And then, or at Grim Admiral Thon, you can watch a free horizontal stream on Twitch. Go to twitch.stephenfreeborn.com. There you go, man. There are your horizontal viewing options. Otherwise, you can hang out here on the vertical with the rest of us. Al Pagani, hello, bro. Grand Admiral Thom, thanks. Of course, man. Yeah, hook it up. Pick your viewing experience of choice. Good morning, Danny. How are you doing? Al Pagani, hello, bro. Hello, how are you? All right, should we do some programming? We're doing some chatting. I mean, we're gonna keep chatting, but maybe now we code and chat a little bit together. I'm not particularly good at it, at coding and chatting. I'm single-threaded, man. I'm single-threaded. What can I say?
Did we just become best friends?
Thank you for the follow over there, man. Appreciate it. Who was that? Butterscotch? Thanks, Butterscotch, for following. Appreciate you. I'm guessing that's the same Butterscotch maybe that hangs out here on YouTube sometimes. Fabulous Gamer. Hi, good afternoon, sir. Nice to see you again. Well, good to see you again, Fabulous Gamer, as well. I'm glad you're here. Thanks for stopping by the stream. Really appreciate it. Alright, so where we left off yesterday was, I think we were basically at a point where we're ready to start displaying our... So what's on the agenda today? What to build? We're still working on that same thing we were building yesterday, although we should be getting closer and closer to getting this to a place where we can deploy it. Let me get it running real quick. But we should be at a point now where we just need to display the payments, and then we have some error states we probably need to handle. So we want another terminal window. I'm going to bring that over to the side. Split plane right. Actually, hold on. I'm gonna split pane down. One sec, I need to blow my nose real quick. We're talking about errors particularly for the Stripe side of the equation. So Stripe payments, I guess, can fail. And so we just need to be able to kind of alert to the client on the client side just to let them know that, hey, your payment failed. You might want to try again. So go here. .NET watch. Oh, I should probably set the topic to doing. We are building a donation site using the Stripe API. And then that should say what we're doing. I think the status property might work for that failed payment error. Yeah, they actually return a stat. Yeah, they return a status, which is what we're gonna. Well, not this. This is for loading our payment data, but there's inside this card where we actually get the payment intent. So we have a card called payment confirmation, and we specifically track any error that's returned from getting the payment intent. And if we get an error, then we'll do basically a switch over it to display a different message if it is errored. Is the plan. I think the status should be in the response after calling the Stripe API for payment. So the status is, so the reason there's statuses is we use the union type, or I use that status field as a way in my component when I'm rendering my component to figure out if we're currently fetching data or we're not fetching data. And then I display a state based on, because really when you're fetching data, you can really be in 3 different states. You can be actually in the process of getting the data. You could have failed getting the data, or you actually got the data. And so I always use like a union type like this to represent whenever I'm doing a data fetch. React query kind of has the same idea. Their implementation is obviously much more production ready, but this is the approach I usually use. The stripe response itself has its own error, so that's why I say we can track the stripe error. Does this also fetch card payment is not used via Stripe? I'm not sure what you mean. Yes, you mean does it tell you if a particular payment method is not supported? You mean? As far as like my code goes, I never see the payment information. That all is dealt with Stripe. It never comes to my back end. I don't ever see it. I don't log in. I'm not storing in a database. I'm letting Stripe do all that. MHZMM Games. What is the difference between :W and :WA? So :W will write out the current buffer that you're in. So like if you're here in this file, right, and you make a change, and then you go over to this file and make another change, you're gonna see there's a couple status indicators here that indicate there are unwritten changes. So I could go like this, and that's going to now only write out the app.cs file, but the app.tsx file has not been written out. It still shows that unwritten, modified but unwritten status indicator. But now if I was to do the CSS file again and I do WA, it'll write out all those buffers. So it's kind of just a nice way to say write the current buffer versus write all the buffers. Hello, Steven. New cam setup? Yeah, I was talking to Bob or somebody earlier. They asked about the new angle. Like about 2 weeks ago, I took my monitors and I moved my monitors down so that I could put my camera lower so the camera wasn't like looking so much at an angle. And ever since I did that, whenever I got off stream, I would kind of have pain in my neck. And I think it was because I was constantly like looking down at the monitors. So I raised the monitors back up and then moved the camera to the side. So welcome to the new angle. Chandran, Python or Java code? This is React. This is JSX, TypeScript, JSX, and then I'm also using .NET for the backend. So it's a React. It's kind of an interesting solution. It's a .NET minimal API on the backend and a React SPA on the front end using TypeScript. But when this is actually deployed to production, the minimal API actually serves the React SPA. So that way I can basically deploy this as a single unit in one container. But theoretically, I do have a separated backend and front end. So if I ever wanted to like deploy these separate places, I could. But for simplicity's sake, they're one monolithic thing. ULAS, i.e., I bought a gum from a local store. Can I see it on this website or only transaction gone through Stripe? You could not see it on the website. No, this is purely just so that people can say, hey, charge my card $5 for a coffee for Steven. That's the only thing the website does. M8ZM Games, cool, didn't know that, thanks. Yeah, of course, man. Yeah, NeoVim is kind of this big, deep, dark rabbit hole that once you fall in it, you're in it. Mark Manasala. Hello, Mark. I think MRK stands for Mark, so I'm just going to call you Mark. Hello, good to see you, man. Hope you're doing well. Smart choice as a 37-year-old dad who really should not sit so much and care more about mobility aches. I approve. Yes, which also you're 5 years further ahead than I am. I'm 32, so you probably can give me some tips on how to keep. And I'm relatively new to the whole development game, so you probably got some good tips on keeping your body feeling good when you spend so much in a chair. Alkamahaja, will you open source this code? Yeah, it's actually it's already, or I shouldn't say what I'm writing right now is like open, like I'm actively building it, but it's on my GitHub. Like all the changes and everything are on my GitHub public repo. It's let's see, the GitHub is, let me see if I can get the link. It's in the description of this video, but I can get you the link here. I won't make you search. I won't make you open up that description box. Who wants to do that? Yeah, I try just about everything I build. I try to put on GitHub for people. So where are you at? You're over on YouTube. I need like a direct reply. There you go. You are on the vertical stream. So at also, thank you for being a member, man. I appreciate it. You look much younger, dude. Oh, no, I'm a 32-year-old dad too. But I mean, I'll take the younger. I mean, I'm sure at some point I'm really gonna look my age, but I'll take the younger for now. Mark, yes, you got it right. Okay, cool. Well, hello, Mark. Welcome to the stream. Good to see you. Fabulous gamer. 1 hour of gym session. At least a cardio one may remove these pains, I hope. Maybe. I don't know. I work out every day. I lift weights and try to get my 10,000 steps in every day. But I think sitting for 3 or 4 hours at a time is just not, the human body I don't think was made to be in any position statically for that many hours at a time. It's just not what we were evolved or adapted to do. So I think anytime you spend that much time in a single position, you're going to kind of pay the price. ETN standing desk can mitigate some of this. Taking a walking break at least once an hour, working on lower back strength and mobility, and not skip the gym for the last 3 months like I did. Well, I never skip the gym. I love the gym. I'm addicted to the gym. And I know I'm addicted. Here's how I know I'm addicted to the gym. I'm addicted to the gym because if I don't work out, I get grumpy. And I have the same experience people I think experience when they're withdrawing. So I know that my brain and my body have become dependent on getting in exercise, and I can notice a big difference in the way I feel and the way I act when I don't exercise. You asked why my messages stop appearing on the screen. I don't know. Did they stop? Oh, I wonder if it's because I switched the chat. That's interesting. I wonder if that was because I switched the chat. In StreamerBot, I switched the tabs of, like I was just looking at YouTube. Maybe that's why. I don't know. I think you're there now, aren't you? Maybe not. How many times do you gym per week? I average 4.5 times a week. I never miss, Ahmadjah. I average gym 7 days a week. My gym is in my garage, so there's not really a good excuse for me not to go to the gym, so I'm there every day. Mark, man, I'm sitting 5 to 6 hours a day doing my job. Yeah, me too, dude. Me too. I think that you have to work really hard to fight against the effects of sitting for multiple hours like that in a chair. It's just not what we were made to do. So you have to be really intentional about, I think, pushing back on those effects. Same, but my work schedule has been crazy at the end of 2025. That will change right now. Well, that's good. I'm glad. I hope it slows down. I hope you're able to get back in the gym. Mark, you're looking great at your age. Ups. Well, thanks, man. I don't know if I'm looking great, but my wife is still keeping me around, and that's the most important thing to me. That I want my wife to keep me around, so I want to look decently acceptable. I would like to, and then the other two things I have is I want to stay strong and I want to stay mobile. Like I hopefully want to live long enough to see my kids have kids and play with my grandkiddos. And I'd like to see long enough for AI to put all of us software engineers out of a job, and really see that cooked state that everyone's talking about. But yeah, those are my main goals this time in my life. Is I want to feel strong. I want to feel mobile. I want to take care of my heart so I live a long time. I know a big thing I need to do is I need to lose some weight. I probably have 40 extra pounds. That's just unnecessary for me to carry around, and so I need to get that off. It doesn't show this message may because it contains URL. I was talking about Fizzy Do. Oh, huh. Yeah, it must have stripped it. I don't think YouTube lets you guys post links. It lets me post links, but it doesn't let you guys post links. Fizzy Do's good. I like Fizzy Do. I was actually using Fizzy.do last night. Cool, then hope you can finish this project today, at least those air handling cases. I will move to my LeetCode problems for now. See you, sir. See you, Fabulous Gamer. Good luck with your LeetCode, man. Fabulous Gamer. Talking about AI. Oh, did I catch your attention with that comment? I'm getting grumpy for real, just because how much of bloated code AI produces and those stuff getting pushed to prod. So I don't really have much experience with people using AI for like in the workplace programming and coding. So I can't really share that same experience, but if that's happening, yeah, that doesn't sound great. Can I see regular transactions on Fizzy, like in the gum example? Can I see regular transactions on Fizzy, like in the gum? Are we still talking about the same thing? Because Fizzy is when you said Fizzy, I thought you were talking about the Kanban tool that 37 Signals released. This thing. This is what I thought you were talking about. Are you talking about something different? Because I'm using Stripe for the payments. Is that what you're talking about, Stripe? Let's see. I am talking about this. I don't know if we're talking about the same thing. We are? Oh. Well, I don't know, but I don't know what you're talking about in the gum example. I am confused. All right, so here's the data I want to display right down here. So we're gonna add a new cart or new card. We're gonna add a new card, not cart. What I mean, if I get a gum from a local store, can I see it on this? All right, so you're talking about Stripe. I don't know. Stripe is a payment processor. It's like a payment gateway. It's for you to accept payments from other people. So if you were the person selling the gum, right? So it's not really about Stripe is about you as a person or you as an entity processing payments from other people, not necessarily looking at your own payments. Right? Does that make sense? I think if you want to see that type of transaction data, you should probably look at a provider called Plaid. They let you talk to your actual like credit card and bank account information or data. Well, I guess it would be your credit card provider and your bank account provider. This is the API that I'm planning to use for my Mint app that I want to build. But if you want that type of transaction data, I think you're looking more for something like Plaid and not Stripe. Mark, are you really coding on CLI? Yes. So I'm using Neovim. I don't know if you guys are familiar, Mark, with Neovim, but I'm using. Clicking around these chats is kind of tough. Let's see, at Mark Mansala. I am using this guy. neovim.io, which is a terminal-based text editor. It's pretty awesome. It's a lot of fun. I use VS Code though. I use VS Code and I use Visual Studio. I use the usual cast of characters, but I also took a trip down the NeoVim rabbit hole this year. Bro, Plaid seems awesome. Oh yeah, that's what I'm gonna use. I'm gonna use that for the My Mint application that I want to build that I've been kicking around. Definitely gonna use that. So it's kind of funny. Plaid's an interesting story. Actually, when Plaid started, a lot of banks didn't provide programmatic access to their data, but based on I think it's the Dodd-Frank Act, the 2008, the act they passed after the 2008 financial crisis here in the United States, they basically enshrined it into law that if you're a bank, you need to provide your customers with access to their data. And so what ended up happening was Plaid kind of stepped in to try to help fill that void. But a lot of the banks didn't have a way to extract data programmatically. So a lot of the integrations that Plaid offered in the early days of their service, they were actually doing just web scraping. They were just like literally taking your bank account information or your bank login, logging into the bank, and then scraping the data off the page, which I find hilarious because oftentimes when I know, at least what I do, when I think about starting a service like that, I'm always thinking of like the most complicated solution, right? And they were like, well, okay, there's no API, so let's not wait around for it. That's the thing, Ulas, it wasn't illegal because the banks were happy to let somebody else help them solve this requirement, right? It was like, oh, we need to provide access to our customer. We need to allow customers to get access to their data. Like, we're happy to have someone help us solve this issue. Now, over time, I guess Plaid has worked with a lot of institutions to like provide like proper integration points. But that's to everyone. If you use YNAB or which is an app called You Need a Budget, or if you use, I think Every Dollar uses them. If you any financial planner budgeting app that actually connects to your bank to pull in transaction or account information, almost all of them are using Plaid. They sort of have a monopoly in that space. But how did they ensure only getting the account info rather than getting login or auth data? I don't know, man. I don't know. I wasn't in the room when this was happening, but that's how I understand the company kind of has evolved. That's how they were able to help fill the need early on, and then over time they've kind of eaten that particular use case. So if you're a developer looking to build something with access to bank account information, they are sort of the people to go through, apparently. As I said, feels illegal. I don't think it's illegal if you're working with the bank and the bank is like, hell yeah, log in and scrape the data. May not be the most secure way to go about it, but I don't think it's illegal. All right, how do we want to do this? We want a card. So let's just start with mapping over our payments. So we'll start with payment data. I'm not getting any autocomplete. Yeah, payment data. I keep wanting to do the view, the double. So we want to do payment data dot map. Or actually, I guess we can do payment status equals loading. We'll say, yeah, loading previous donations. That's fine. Can show an error if it fails to load. Otherwise, I want to Display a section. That's fine, Copilot. This is a good starting point. No donations yet. Be the first to donate. Okay, that's fine. I didn't even think about that case. That was good, Copilot. That was very good. And then we're gonna map over the list. Okay, I don't think this is the right way to go. I don't think I'm gonna do that particular thing, but I'm okay with doing that right now. Property on. All right, let's see what this looks like. So you can thank Copilot for this design. They're the ones that came up with it. All right, so I don't think I want that. I want more of a card look, like what Buy Me a Coffee has. Teacher Stefano. I want more like this. Well, I guess this is kind of a feed, isn't it? I kind of like this. It's almost like a running message. That's kind of cool. And then they put a little like avatar icon next to it. It's not bad. Let's see what the loading state looks like. The loading state I think is pretty atrocious, but yeah, the loading state like flashes. Let's do a wealth dashboard with Plaid. I don't think I'm gonna do a wealth dashboard, but I'm definitely gonna build an application that brings in I basically want to recreate some fundamental features from the Mint website. So I want to do a count, total account balances, so that I can calculate a net worth. I want to do, and so I can calculate and track my net worth. I want to do transaction data so that I can categorize those transactions, and then I want to have visualizations of those categorizations and of that transaction data. Those are kind of the basic functions that I used in Mint, and those functions exist in You Need a Budget, but You Need a Budget costs $15 a month, and it has way too many bells and whistles, so I kind of want to replace it. 199 need a lo-fi generator equivalent, but jazz. That sounds like a good idea. Yeah, that sounds like a great idea. Although I don't know how to generate music algorithmically. I have no idea how lo-fi generator works, but I love it. I use it all the time. Mark, hello, I'm back. I'm researching if I can use Neovim while SSH using putty because I'm done with sudo nano. Yeah, you can do that. For sure you can. Yeah, Neovim will run in a SSH session, for sure. You have to have Neovim on the box that you're SSH'd into, but you can definitely use it. This is what I meant the whole time and thought Fizzy was doing that. That's why we both confused at the start. Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, Fizzy is just for Kanban. It's just that's a 37 signals tool for doing task management in a Kanban board. That's what Fizzy.do is. Some of the lo-fi. Oh, that's right, Bob. I forgot about your lo-fi tracks. Yeah, I need to work those in. Oh, we do have a bug here. This says invalid date. So why does it say invalid date? Oh, I wonder if we're not passing that back from the back end. Are we passing that back? I don't think we are. Endpoint, get payments endpoint, created at Unix, created at Unix. Oh no, we are. So why? Huh. Let's see. Copy this guy. New date. So why is that invalid? What if we just do new, let's just do created at and see what that prints. Oh, it prints nothing. Why does it print nothing? Did I name the property wrong? Something stupid? Oh, yeah, created at Unix is the name of the naming. It's always the name of things. Oops. This is also not a string, this is a number. There we go. So let's add a new donation, see if this all still works okay. Steven, 999. Yo, what is up? Stripe test cards. You don't even have to install directly to use Vim if you are SSHing to Linux. Oh, I thought we were talking about NeoVim. Yeah, Vim should be there already, but if you want to use NeoVim, I think you're going to have to bring that down yourself. Plata me? PL, please? That's a random first message to drop in chat your first time here. Just please, out the gate. But you're welcome. I mean, you're welcome to hang out here. You know, we're pretty welcoming. As long as you're kind and you're generous, we'll treat you the same. If you're an asshole, then we'll kind of treat you like an asshole. It's funny how that works. Oops. Wonderful. Thank you for your donation. Your payment was successful. We appreciate your support. Now, this is kind of interesting, right? So whenever I pay, whenever we pay, we're going to get redirected back to this page before this has a chance to be updated. So I think if we refresh this page... Oh crap, no, it won't work because of the ingrok. But nonetheless, I don't have ingrok running, so I need to... Nonetheless, there is a race condition here where the user can be returned to this page before the previous donations actually reflect that they made a donation, if that makes sense. So I either need to have some sort of way to communicate to the I either need to not show this and then have like a button that takes them to go view the donations, or yeah, how do I want to do that? I'm gonna have to think on that one. I'm not really sure the best way to do that because I'd either need to use like servers and events like we talked about yesterday, or some polling mechanism to essentially poll until that the current... Uh-oh, my mouse is gonna die. Basically poll the server until the previous donations list contains the current payment. I don't know what the best UI is for that. This is where things like Convex take care of this issue for you, because if we were using Convex would just automatically update on the page because they use WebSockets, right? That reactivity would just be there out of the box for me. Unfortunately, I'm not using Convex. So we have to solve this ourselves. Like a dummy. I do want to add... Let me add a link here real quick. So let's go to the donation confirmation card. Let's add a link here to this page that says... div, and we'll do display a link tag, href, I think what we want to display here right now is just... I don't really want to say return to home. That seems dumb. There we go. But that's fine. We can return to home. That's fine. So let's try this again. So Steven, amount is 888. Messages, hello, good sirs. Bye. We will check out with our card information. 1229 8999 66062. Pay. Yeah. So now I think if I refresh this, now my new donation shows up here. So we need to come up with a way to handle that, and I'm not sure how I want to do that. Because if we use service and events, we kind of open up a whole nother rabbit hole for ourselves. That seems unnecessary for what we're doing. So I think probably the best thing to do is to hide this and force them to return to home to just see the updated list of donations. I mean, it's still possible that if the user is quick enough, Right? If the user is quick enough, it's still possible for them. Okay, I'm just gonna do what Bob Knoll said the other day. Just scope it down. Don't worry about these things. We can always make it better, but let's get something to a workable state. So let's go app TSX. I'm gonna come down here and show. I'm gonna add a new thing that says previous donations card. We have a lot of cards now. A lot of cards, a lot of forms. I'm gonna take this. We're gonna put it over here. And we're going to take out the payment loading. Bring that all. We're going to bring this all into its own card. So let's get this. Get this use effect out of here. Bring in all our imports. Everyone's happy. Go back here. Somebody's unhappy. Don't need use effect here anymore. We don't need the payments data anymore. Cannot find payment data. This is all going to get replaced with a new element. Which is going to be previous donations card. Yeah, okay, that all works. So now what we'll do is I think we'll conditionally show and hide the previous. If the redirect is set, if client URL is set, then we're not going to show this. So what we want to do is we want to say, if client secret from URL equals null, then we show the payments card, otherwise we don't show anything. Yep. So then we'll test this really quick. Another test. Buy card. I should probably just go ahead and save this card information, shouldn't I, to make filling out this form a little easier? Okay. Oops. There we go. So now the list of payments is hidden, but if we click return home, we see our new payment down here. So hopefully, if all things work correctly, that should be enough time to where they're never really going to see a list of donations that's out of sync. Hopefully. Hopefully. Mark, hello. Won't Stripe cost too much? I have no idea what VIG Stripe takes, Mark, but we're just going to see how it goes. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how much they take off the top. We can look. Let's see, Stripe transaction fee. I just picked Stripe mainly because I wanted to know how to work with them. Let's see. Stripe standard online transaction fee is 2.9% plus 30 cents for domestic cards and digital wallets. So I don't know. That seems reasonable. That's probably what most credit cards companies will charge you. I mean, when I had a personal training business and I accepted payment information from customers in the form of credit cards, this is about what they charged me. And I would just build that into the cost of the service instead of passing that along to the client. But the thing is, the main reason for this project is not so much to make money or to optimize for making money. It's to optimize to know how to implement a custom payment flow using Stripe's API. That's the thing I'm trying to get out of this. So yeah, it's not really optimized for reducing payment processor fees. Hey Suhas, good morning, man. How you been? It's been a minute. I was actually thinking about you this morning that I hadn't seen you in my stream at all. Sorry, I missed your guys' chat message here. Do you know the pricing of Plaid and like what 200 live API calls per product corresponds to? I don't know the pricing for Plaid, Ulas. I do know they have like a kind of like a development mode where you can get 100 accounts, and I'm not sure the call limits on it, but I figure for like one developer building software for themselves, it's probably plenty fine. It's probably plenty for you to do what you need to do. If you're going to offer a service to other people, obviously you might be more concerned with the call limits. You also have to, I think, to use Plaid in a production way, you actually have to get approved. Like you have to apply, and they have to process some sort of they basically have to turn your Plaid instance into like a production instance. I think you even have to apply. If I remember right, the way I got my developer account on Plaid was I had to apply. I had to fill out a form and explain what I wanted to use Plaid for and what I wanted to use it to do. It was kind of an involved process, but it makes sense. I mean, you're dealing with financial information. Mark, based on what I'm seeing, you're creating a payment gateway for donations. Yeah, I'm not a payment gateway. I'm not doing anything with the payments. I'm deferring all that to Stripe. I'm basically just creating a web page where people can make donations using Stripe. Sorry, I'm catching up on the messages. Let's see. I made npm packages so platforms who only build front end can install it to build back end on your other systems. Interesting. They do your taxes? Stripe does your taxes? Is that what you're saying? You lost. Is it too much? That's why it is too much. That's why blockchain makes sense. It is free. Okay, well, maybe we can figure out how to do blockchain in here, Ulas. Maybe you can coach me through that when it's time. Plot a check polar SH. It's 4%, but does your taxes. That's pretty cool. Suhas, Steven, Google Open Router. I know about Open Router, Suhas. We've looked at Open Router on stream. I thought you were here for that. Yeah. Good morning, Big J's Faith. How are you doing, sir? Did you start your weren't you going back to school, Big J's Faith? Did you start class yet? Suhas, 1 million context starting at $2 per million input, tokens starting at 12 million output tokens, $10 via. Are you talking about Open Router's cost, Suhas? Is that what you're talking about? Plata me, your website doesn't load. Oh. No, Polar does your taxes. Oh, nice. Yeah, I'm going to stick with using Stripe at the moment. So I'm not going to change, but I will definitely keep Polar in mind. You last say when. Well, whenever I get this done. This has already taken like probably 5 days or 6 days more than it should have because I've been so slow and only worked on it on stream. But whenever we work it into the content schedule, the ever-growing slate of things to try, I'm honestly at this point, I don't think there's a ton to do here. I mean, there's definitely some cleanup we need to do, right? There's just like we need to hone in on taking care of some, but I think for the most part, this is the base functionality of the site. Like this is it. Like they're gonna come to the page, they're gonna enter that information. I think now we just need to clean up the UI. We need to probably add some informational text about which fields are required or optional, maybe some styling. We need to improve probably the loading states of some of this stuff. Oh, we need to implement pagination on the previous donations. That's what we haven't done yet. So let me do that real quick. It's not going to be real quick, but we need to do that. So in our previous donations card, we essentially need to have some way to get the next, like if we have more than 50 donations, if someday we reach a place where we have more than 50 donations, we want to provide the users with a way to load the old donations if they'd like to. So we probably want a final LI button. Or maybe not. Maybe it hangs out below the list. That is basically a load more button, exactly just like that. And then this needs to become, why is this complaining? This needs to become a fragment, I guess. And then the data, the payment data, actually needs to store the full response, not just the individual payments. So we're gonna do type page, maybe payment page, and we will, let's see, open. Why don't you use AI? I do use Copilot quite a bit. Yeah, I use Copilot quite a bit for tab completion, but I'm not a big vibe coder or agentic developer. I see people use it all over the place, and it looks like they're very productive and they're having a ton of fun, and more power to them. But whenever I've used those tools, I found myself wanting to write code less. Like I'm bored by it. Like when I use Gemini CLI or I use Anthropic Copilot, I'm bored by coding because I'm just sitting there watching it do stuff. Then I have to figure out what it did. Then I have to ask it to do the next thing after I figure out what it did. And it just seems very passive and it's very difficult for me to get into a flow state when I use them. I just don't enjoy it. I just don't enjoy programming coding. And I've said this before on stream, if software engineering becomes prompt engineering for a living, I probably will move on to a different career field. So because I'm doing this stuff for myself and for fun, I'm going to do it the way that gives me the most joy. You know, and so for right now, the way I use AI is I do a lot of tab completion in my editor, and then I usually will open up something like Gemini, or I'll open up github.com/copilot, and I'll just use the chat interfaces here to kind of talk to AI or search questions. But it's not that I'm against AI, it's just I don't do kind of the agentic style coding because I don't enjoy it. Does it? You might enjoy anti-gravity. It gives full walkthrough of all each time. Yeah, but I don't. I don't want to. Again, like I don't want you guys to think I've not used AI. I've used AI extensively. That's how I know how I feel when I use it. So I've used Copilot in the editor in VS Code. I've used Gemini CLI on the command line. I've used Copilot CLI on the command line. And all my experiences with it, I just leave thinking, well, that wasn't very much fun. I mean, can you get a lot more done? Are people probably more productive using it? Yes. Could somebody probably build out what I'm doing with AI in like 15 minutes? Probably. I don't doubt it, right? But I'm not optimizing for that. I'm not optimizing for like delivering the most stakeholder value in the shortest amount of time. I'm optimizing for my own enjoyment, for my own learning, for my own interests, just different goals. Big J, class starts on Monday. It's an accelerated course. Well, Big J, I'm gonna be rooting for you, man. I'm very excited for you to start your class, man. You're gonna kill it. Suas, anti-gravity is good. Well, I'm glad anti-gravity is good. I think all these agentic tools look very, very good. I don't doubt they aren't good. I doubt they make me feel like spending more time writing code, and I'm trying to optimize for things that make me spend more time writing code. Bob Knoll, it's a fundamental course. Oh, yeah, your class, yeah, of course. You're gonna kill it, man, Big J. If you were a mechanic for all those years, which I don't know if you guys saw this. I watched this video. I'm gonna go on a tangent here. I watched this video last night on YouTube from Veritasium. That's one of my favorite YouTube channels. I'm sure it's a lot of people's favorite YouTube channels. And they just released a new video. The video already has like 8 million views. Let's see. ASML Veritasium. They just did an hour-long video walking through the engineering of the machine that builds, or the lithography machine, the UV lithography machine that makes the chips that we use in all of our stuff. Dude, software engineers think they have it. Software engineers think they have complexity. They think they're so smart. They think the shit they do is so hard. Fucking watch this video and then come and talk to me. It's freaking nuts. They had to have they did all this fundamental basic research to get shit to work, and they dropped the ball like multiple years in a row. It was crazy. It was such a good video. Like it made me think like I'm never gonna complain about anything I have to do anymore when I'm dealing with software. Plata, what's something that would make you love agentic AI coding? I don't think there is something about it. Yeah, I don't think there is. It's fundamentally just a different activity than traditional software engineering. Traditional software engineering, or at least my experience with it, is a very active process where you get to think about the problem and you get to solve the problem and you get to author the code and you get to think about the shape and the API of the code and you get to chisel it out and make it exactly what you want to make it, and you're able to understand everything you've written and all the context of why you got to where you got to. And it's just that whole experience where agentic coding is, you're basically saying, I'm just going to give you some instructions, make me the deliverable, I'll verify the deliverable, and then I'll give you some more instructions. It basically is, you stop being a kind of a craftsman and you turn into more of a PM. And I don't want to be a PM. I don't want to give instructions to people all day and then verify the output of their instructions all day. I want to spend time or verifying if their outputs match my instructions. Right? I don't want to do that. Nor do I want to give something instructions and let it run for 24 hours while I go and do something else. Right? The whole reason I got into programming and coding was because I enjoyed the act of programming and coding. So Agentic AI kind of removes that or changes it in a really big way. You turn into more of a prompt engineer, a context engineer, whatever fancy word you want to use. It's just a wholesale different activity. You're still solving problems, you're just doing it in a different way, and it doesn't really light the same fire in me. So if the industry goes that way, I will likely go be an accountant or maybe some sort of finance bro or something. Suas, I wasn't there for Open Router. I thought, why would you spend $10 on that subscription if you use less than 2 million? Oh, I see. Yeah, we were talking about this the other day, that I didn't know how much my usage was, so I might be overpaying. Yeah, that's a valid point. I just haven't done that analysis. Yeah. Plata, can you help me debugging the error on my site higher up AI? Well, Plata, why don't you just use anti-gravity to do that? Shit. That was probably kind of an asshole retort of me. But yeah, I mean, I'd be happy. I mean, if you want to join our Discord, I'm sure there's folks in our Discord. It's stuck. No way. What? AI is stuck? No way. What? No. But I thought agentic AI was so awesome. AI development is the future. You don't need people who know anything about how to code. Nah, I'm just kidding, Plotted. You've become the target of my sarcasm, but I don't actually think anything about what you're doing. I think you're perfectly fine. If you want to join our Discord, Plata, me or somebody in our Discord, I'm sure would be helpful to help you understand whatever problem it is so that you can direct anti-gravity properly to resolve it. I don't think it's probably not best to debug it over the stream chat, right? There's probably too much of a lag, and I'll get confused with all the other conversations. But if you want, I'll put my Discord link in the chat there for you if you want to join it, and just kind of go to the coding channel and just give a synopsis of like where you're at, what you're struggling with, what you're trying to accomplish, right? Like give us a good Stack Overflow type of question and explanation, and I'm sure one of us would be happy to try to help you. I'll join if you give me a ESG review when it's stable. Oh, okay. I'm probably not going to give you a review, man, but you don't have to join. I was just saying if you want help debugging, join. If you don't want help debugging, don't join the Discord. But I'm not looking to transact on a review for joining my Discord, because I don't care if you're in my Discord or not. I don't care if you're in there or not. But if you want help, that's the best place to find it. And if you don't join, I wish you all the best on trying to solve your issue. Maybe try Opus 4.5. I hear Opus 4.5 has all the answers. Oh, whoops! I accidentally broke the Discord link. Discord at Plata. There you go, Plata. There's the Discord. You last bro got real. Yeah, I mean, I've told you guys I'm very selfish content creator. I don't care too much about the numbers. I'm not trying to build a business off of this. I do this for fun. So if people want to hang out in my Discord, great. If they don't, no big deal. I earn my living another way. I just do this for the good times. Let's see. Going back to New Year resolution, give up AI, accept code completion. That's kind of where I am at. I mean, I still use Gemini and Copilot in the chat message, but I'm not using the agentic AI stuff. It's just not where it's at for me. And that's okay. Like, I'm not trying to say it should be. I'm not trying to say the way my feelings are the right feelings. I'm just trying to say this is how I feel, right? Like, and I think it's okay. I think it's okay for people to really, really enjoy it. Like, one of my favorite YouTubers, Web Dev Cody, he is loving it, and he is making tons of content about it. He's using it all the time, and I love watching his videos about it. He just released another video about agentic programming yesterday, I think, and I watched the whole thing. I love that people are finding tools that they love to use and enjoy, and workflows that really light them up. And I say more power to you. You know. Blips, try the brainfuck language. What? No, thank you. No, thank you. Silly V. Sorry, Silly V. I just saw your message. I was on one of the other tabs. I know it's a utopic view, but the best case scenario is that agentic AI will bring more people into taking interest in code. 100%. And I'm all for that. I'm all for vibe coders, people who are empowered to build the businesses and the apps that they've never been able to build before. I'm all for it. All for it. Bring it on. I just where we run into a brick road is when you start telling me that agentic AI replaces the need for actual software engineers. That's when I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Maybe one day, but right now it's not there. And I think there's a long tail. I think there's a very long tail. I think I think with any problem, the last mile's the hardest, right? So maybe you can approximate 80%, 90%, 95% of what software engineering does, but the last 5%, the last 1% is going to be difficult. So maybe it does reduce the need for some engineers. It's not going to reduce the need for all engineers, though. I'm not sure I'm ready to go back to writing my own CSS. Fair enough. Plata sent. I think I sent that.
Did we just become best friends?
Sirman Goaty, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. Steven, I will join your Discord if you give me a hug. I would. Here, I'm giving you a virtual hug. Come here, guys. All right, yeah. Come in here. Get in here. All right, there we go. I think Big J, you're already in the Discord, aren't you? That's hilarious. I joined. I need to get accepted. Oh yeah, we have an application on the Discord to keep the riffraff out, as I always say. We don't want the riffraff in here. Suas, what are you trying to put in the chat? Was that supposed to be like an ASCII diagram or something? It did not come through.
Did we just become best friends?
Let's see. Chickcam, thanks for the follow. I appreciate that. Just started web development with AI, and yes, the last mile. Haha, yeah. The last mile, it's hard, man. It's hard. When I see really good engineers solve really hard problems, I'm like, I'm not sure the AI has enough context or awareness, or maybe I don't know. I don't know how you would get an LLM to replicate what some of the really good engineers that I've seen do really good work. I know somebody in the chat yesterday was saying, Dario Amodei and Boris Cherny from Anthropic are publicly saying that 90% of all the code written in the organization is now written with Claude code, or Claude, I guess. And maybe that's the case. I guess I'm skeptical. Ooh, love bomb again. Yes, bring all the love bombs. My brain F code. Oh, is that what that is in the chat? That's unreadable. If that's brainfuck programming language, that's unintelligible. Why would anybody write that language? Let's see. Yes, I am, Bubba. I just wanted a hug, and we all got one. Yes, everybody gets a hug. I always tell my son he'll ask for hugs. My 9-year-old, he'd be like, Dad, can I have a hug? And I'll be like, yeah. And then he'll come in, and he kind of does like one of those real like soft, gentle hugs. And I'm always like, no, dude, when you hug someone, you gotta hug them. You gotta let them know. You know what I mean? You gotta be a good hugger. You gotta give them that big old bear hug. Suhas, I did. I don't know, man. That language looks horribly unintelligible. I don't know how anybody would ever figure out what's going on. I mean, if you're gonna write code that looks like that, why not just write binary? Just just go back to writing ones and zeros and call it a day. Oh, I forgot. I'm going to do. So we're gonna do payments endpoint, and we need the page. Okay. So a page. This is the one part about having a separate front end and a back end that's kind of shitty is when you have to mirror the types from the back end to the front end, right? So like basically I have this record on the back end, right? This type definition essentially, and I basically need to mirror it in my front end. That's the one icky part about separations of front ends and back ends. It's kind of nice. I mean, if you're working a JavaScript code base, right? If you're working on with the same language on the front and the back, then you can share the types. But if you're working with, or you can share the types, or you can share the class definitions. But if you're working across languages, right, then it's not. It's a little bit more effort. So we're gonna have total number of payment. That's a number. We're gonna have total number of pages, the current page number, and then the payments, which is going to be, I'm just gonna do a payment array like that, and then I'll add a new type up here. Type payment. There we go. See, like Copilot for that, like I don't know if you guys caught that, but like that's the kind of shit that I love AI for, right? Like that saved me how many keystrokes, but I still know what. But it's still a small enough chunk of code that I can very quickly understand. Like, yes, that's exactly what I was wanting to do, right? I was wanting to add a type definition for payments. I want it to essentially match what I have below, and it saved me 15 seconds, 20 seconds of typing. That added up across a project is really is valuable time, but I still understand what it is I'm doing, right? I don't have to go read 60 files to understand all the changes, and I still feel like I'm an active participant in the development, right? So that's to me, I think those are the things that I like AI for, is that type of code completion. I'm not saying that's right. I'm just saying that's what, you know what I mean? I'm just saying that's what I'm enjoying. So let's do, instead of that, let's do page. And then down here, we're gonna say page.data, or not, just data. We don't need to print that either. And then here we'll need to switch payment data to page. Okay. And now everything should still work on the front. Okay. So now what we want to do is we want to have this button. If we were to change our fetch, let's change our fetch to say, okay, we're going to have a page size of 1, like that. So now our front end is only going to load 1 donation, right? But we know there's 4. So we want our load button to basically be able to load more of those in. So that's what we're going to implement. So we're going to do function handle load more button click, and then we're also going to extract this payments definition. I guess we can't extract it. We So the first time it loads, we want to fetch the page size. So this is probably where it'd be good to use. It would probably be good to use query params to manage the state, because if the user refreshes the page, they're going to lose all the data they loaded. Well, I don't care though. I'm not going to care about all those edge cases. Good news, bug is fixed. Higher up AI is live and stable. Let's go, Plato. How'd you fix it? What was the problem? You didn't even need any help from my Discord. I guess anti-gravity wasn't stuck after all. Ilmani, is the API almost done yet? Not yet. We still have some time to go. We still have to deploy it too. I have to deploy it. I have to set up the production, secrets, all that stuff. How old were you again? Your son is 9. Oh, I'm 32. I'm a 32-year-old father of 2. What's your interface? I'm using React. I'm using a TypeScript React Vite template. Or that's how that was my starter template, was the Vite React TypeScript template. Norsec, new camera angle, Steven, looking sharp. Well, thanks, man. Yeah, we set up a new camera angle. We also set up a scene for chatting. Or I guess I shouldn't say we did, but I did. I wanted my monitors to be up higher, Norsec. So I moved my monitors up higher and shifted the camera to the left. So new angle, new year, new stream, new angle, new platforms. Abdil. Hello, Abdil. Hope you're doing well. Suhas, binary is actually easier than brainfuck, because in binary you can just type out the value and the string, and you can use low-level commands and directly talk to the arithmetic logic unit. In brainfuck, you have to individually increment or decrement the memory cells. Wow, that sounds like a horrible programming experience. No, thank you. Sir Van Goofy, what's up? I like your vibe. Looking forward to joining your stream more often. Dude, you're welcome anytime, Sir Van Goofy. Just off your username alone, you are welcome. We're all about the vibes here. We're the other kind of vibe coders. So there's those vibe coders, and then there's us vibe coders, or maybe just me vibe coder. So we're the other kind. Elas, bro, you are like 3 years older than me and like have a 9-year-old. You just made me question a lot of things. I think that's, though, you're more common. Your situation's more common these days. I think we had kids. Bob, true vibes. That's right, true vibes. Chick Cam, PowerShell, joined InVim gang 3 months ago. I joined the InVim gang back in January, February. I went down the NeoVim side quest. I'm using NeoVim in PowerShell. That's why you see PowerShell on the screen, is because I'm on a Windows machine. I'm in the Windows, the terminal app on Windows. I'm running PowerShell as my shell of choice, but I have NeoVim open editing my text. But what I was going to say to you, Ulas, is your situation's more common because, like, my wife and I, we are most definitely the youngest parents. Like, when we go to our kids' school and stuff here where I live in Kansas City, Kansas, we are the youngest by far. Everyone is like probably 10 years older than us. They're probably like in their late 30s, early 40s. So I think it's very common nowadays for most people to have kids later in life than younger in life. I think that's a pretty common trend. My only vibe when I code is pure anxiety. I love that. My only vibe when I code is one of two states: pure enjoyment or utter frustration. And when I get frustrated, I get frustrated. So far, I've been really lucky. In the 9 months of streaming, I have yet to like really crash out on stream. So I've been pretty good about controlling my temper. But yeah, when I get upset and frustrated at my code, I get frustrated. Rishi Paul. Hey, Rishi Paul, how are you? I guess we're chatting now, so we can switch over to the chatting scene. We're no longer writing code. Want to see my portfolio I recently made? Sure, man. Yeah, you can join our Discord. We have a projects channel in the Discord if you wanna share it. I'm sure there'd be other folks who would like to look at it. Let's see, Discord, and then at Rishipal ES9. Obviously, you don't have to stay in the Discord. You can just jump into the Discord, drop your link, and jet out if you want. Oh, whoops! I sent that to both YouTube channels. I'm sorry. My parents got married in their early 20s. This year, I will turn 20. Time is really weird. Time is very weird, man. I mean, my kid's 9. My kid's 9. He's gonna be 8 years in 9. He's gonna be 18 in 9 more years. I think it's crazy, 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 crazy. It's unbelievable. I'm getting married at 22 too. Nice, Rishi Pal. Congratulations. I got married at 23, so I met my wife at 15. But we didn't get married till my senior year of college. Plata, can you check the site and tell me what would be good to add? Plata, I don't typically look at people's projects on stream just because if I look at one person's, I will feel like complete shit if I don't look at everyone's site. And then if I look at everyone's site, well then that's the only thing I'll do all stream. But if you leave a link to your site in the projects channel in Discord, I do try to go through those projects that people share and take a peek. So I'd be happy to look at it there. And if I have any thoughts, I'll be for sure share them with you. Good morning, Volk. How are you doing? Holy heck, it works. I got Claude to vibe code a TUI YouTube chat client and got it set up in like 30 minutes. That's awesome, Bob. That's really cool, man. Yeah, I still want to build a TUI like that. I'd like to build a TUI that looks like the streamer bot UI. So this is, oh, you guys can't see my screen anymore. Hold on 1 sec. 1 second, back to this. So I'd like to build a TUI that looks like this, that lets me switch between panes, that has all the chats, Twitch chat, or the YouTube. I think that would be really cool. So basically recreate the same streamer bot functionality, but in the terminal. I think that would be awesome. Bob Knowles testing. I love this. Test away, Bob. Test away. Rishi Paul, I just graduated. Well, congratulations, Rishi Paul. Let's give you some claps for graduating, man. Getting out of college, I mean, getting through college is a long and rough journey. You know? So here's some claps for you, man. Here's some claps for you. Good job, dude. Killed it. Shit, Kim, I just broke up with my girl. I'm 27. Well, that's okay. I mean, not every relationship has to end in marriage, you know? But I am sorry that you had to go through a breakup. Hopefully it was amicable or a good breakup. I don't know if any breakup can be good, but I hope it wasn't bad. It's absolutely crazy. I'm getting 30 in 4 months. Oh, nice. Very cool. So we're about the same age. In India, the divorce is seen as something negative and society treats them really badly, which means a lot of nice people live in a toxic relationship. Oh, that's awful. Yeah, I don't think people should look down on divorce. Volk, maybe you can upload a YouTube video rating projects we made. I could, but I also feel like kind of shitty rating people's projects because I would probably just tell you guys all your projects are great. Like who am I to pass judgment on your guys' work, right? You guys built something and took the time to share it. I'm not gonna shit on it. That's me. That just seems horribly mean, you know? Rishi Paul sent requests on Discord. Okay, cool. I have approved you. And you don't have to stay. If you just want to drop your project and head out, that's totally fine. New subscriber. Hello, Roberto Santiago. Thanks for subbing, man. Appreciate you. Going into networking, need to create script and code to help with websites and establish connectivity. What language would you recommend? Was torn between Python and JavaScript. So, MJQs, I always recommend people go to freecodecamp.org. So, I'll put that in the chat there just so that you have a reference point for it. I think Free Code Camp is a great place to start if you're learning to code for the first time. At MJQs. And the reason I like Free Code Camp is just because it's free and it's well structured and well thought out, and the feedback loop between learning and seeing the effects of what you've learned is really tight, which I think is really important to keep you engaged in the learning process. So that's where and they're going to teach you JavaScript. That's what they're going to probably start you with. And then you can go learn Python or whatever language is. After you get the first language under your belt, you're kind of be off to the races. I'm 22, mid-level data engineer for a big company. People usually don't take me seriously because of my age, even if I have strong, soft, and hard skills. I need to prove myself 3 times more than normal. What is your advice on it? Let's see. When I was 22, I was working as a food scientist in a large frozen food company. And I was the most senior person on my team. I was the most junior person on my team by 20 years. I mean, the team that I got hired onto was a team that had been together and had been developing products and solving technical problems for almost 20 years together, I think, at that point. So I think the advice I have for you is to embrace where you are right now in your career. You're at a point where people don't expect a lot from you, so you can pretty much over deliver all the time. Just over deliver, right? Build a reputation and a brand for yourself so that if we were picking teams for some big project, make sure that your name is one of the first names that's going to be picked. Build that type of reputation for yourself. You're a person who's organized, timely, a great communicator, takes initiative, can work independently, follows through, does what they say they're going to do. Do work so that when people think of you, they think of, I want that guy on my team. That's what I would focus on. Don't worry about needing to work harder to prove yourself or prove yourself to other people. Just focus on doing great work and doing your best to make sure people know about the work you're doing. That's going to pay dividends.
Did we just become best friends?
What was that event? Mike the Mad, thanks for following the channel. That's going to pay dividends to you. So that's my advice, is embrace where you are in your career. Don't worry too much about how much you need to prove yourself for somebody else. Don't worry too much about your age. But just focus on doing great work and trying to make sure as many people know about it as possible. And I think good stuff will come your way. That's been my experience in my career. I'm 10 years down the line from where you are, but and that's 10 years in 2 different fields and technical roles. One is a food scientist, the other as an engineer in technology, in a technology company. And so I would focus on making sure you do good work and make sure other people know about it. Stephen, I learned something today. The smarter you are, the more you see the real truth of the world, the more depressed you become. I am jealous of the guy who does not see the news and just lives his life. Well, I think, Suas, that's you just focusing on things that are outside your control. If you focus on things inside your control, I don't think the world is so depressing. What's up, Command Bar? Thanks for circling back, man. Steven, Suhas, you spelled my name wrong. Get it right, Suhas. I'm just kidding, man. I don't care. It's okay. I'm starting to agree with you that I do not care about the world. Let it burn. I only care about my close readers and family and friends until the fire comes to them. I will not do anything. It's not that. But I think the attitude isn't that you don't care. The attitude is you just need to be aware of what things are in your control and what things are not in your control, right? And what things you can have influence over and what things you can't have influence over. So I want all of you to win, but I'm not going to pay your bills, right? So I care about you guys. I want you to win, but I can't pay your bills. I can't afford to do that. So I just have to focus on what I can control, which is I can take care of my wife and my kids, and I can earn a living for our family, and I can do the best to take care of us, in hopes that that means that y'all don't have to take care of me, and so y'all can focus on taking care of you and yours, right? And so hopefully there's a good side effect to that. But if you concern yourself with things that are outside of your control, yeah, you're going to feel anxious and depressed and worried and overwhelmed, for sure. It's a guaranteed outcome. First rejection of the year just hit me today. How are you, Steven? I'm doing great. I'm sorry about your rejection, but enthusiasm and persistence conquer all things. So stick with it. Stick with it. Rish Paul, JS is great for a start. Yeah, I like JavaScript because the number one reason I like JavaScript as a first language is because once you know JavaScript, you can basically build whatever you want. You want to build a website, build a website. You want to build a worker, you can build a worker. Want to build a desktop app? Here we go, Electron. So I like JavaScript because it immediately gives you access to being able to build software that other people can use. And I think that's one of the greatest delights about being able to code, is building software that people actually interact with, or that you interact with, that solves your problem. So I think that's why I'm such a big fan of JavaScript as a first language. I know people have opinions on that. Some people think you should start at a lower level, learn C, and then build up from there. I think you probably lose a lot of people when you say go learn C, and then people are like, this sucks, and then they never come back to programming and coding. So I think I'd much rather maybe people start with what others would consider an inferior programming language, but enjoy it and stick with it long enough that they can see the value in something like C. That's my thought. First Shield, thanks for the advice, bro. Of course, dude, and stick with it. You're gonna crush it, man. You're 22. You're just getting started. I'm 32, and I'm just getting started, man. Life is a marathon. We've got 20, 30, 40 more years of working. Like, just focus on all the good and leave the bad. We're on a long ride, my friend. Yo, I think I'm gonna start streaming on Twitch Python coding in Scratch. Go for it. Do it today. Command bar, don't think anymore. Today, first stream, do it today. Send us the link. Join my Discord, send us the link. Do it today. Mark Monsala, man, what really matters? What really matters is the health and well-being of your loved ones and yourself. That's what really matters. If you're healthy and your loved ones are healthy, the rest is just fucking icing on the cake, man. Don't know you switched to tech somehow. Gives me hope. Yeah. Yep, I switched to tech. Yeah, I was in food science. My degree's in biochemistry. You can't really see my degree because it's over here. Well, if you're on the vertical, you can probably see it. That's my degree. I got a degree in biochemistry. So I was originally a food scientist, and then I switched into technology. Not to be cheesy, but you give off a best dad vibes. Oh, well, I'm definitely a dad. I'm definitely a dad, and I think anybody else who's a father in the chat knows that, like, once you become a dad, it kind of permeates through your life. You have this like general dad energy. It's a thing that happens, but not cheesy at all, man. I appreciate that. I hope the vibes are good vibes. Welcome to today's existentialism. Yes, well. Existentialism can be terribly destructive, or it can be really constructive, just depending on how you use it. PLC was technically my entry. Nice. Yeah, I've never done anything with PLCs, but I hear that's a pretty in-demand field, being able to work with PLCs, doing ladder logic stuff, right? Steven, make sure your kids play with Scratch. That's how I got into programming. Okay, I'll try to introduce them to that. I'm familiar with Scratch. I tried to introduce my oldest son to programming through Minecraft by building mods in Java, but I think he was too little at the time, and the feedback loop between, like, writing a mod and then actually interacting with the mod the lag time there was too long, and it just didn't hold his attention. So maybe now that he's older, we could try again with something like Scratch. I told both my sons, I said, if you guys learn to code, I will buy you PCs, because they watch YouTubers and they know a lot of their favorite YouTubers don't play on consoles like they do; they play on computers. And so I told both my kids, I was like, if you guys learn to code, I will buy you PCs. So we'll see if either of them take me up on that. Suas, I'm continually going through existential crisis day after day. Man, Suas, go outside, man. Go outside, go for a run, go for a walk. Leave the existential crisis behind. Let's see. Yeah, is Scratch Scratch is the MIT project. Yeah, it's a cool language. Love this space you created. Never felt so assured after a stream. Dude, you should. The world is constantly going to make you feel uncertain and unsteady. That's what drives people to buy things. It's what drives people to spend their money to assuage those concerns and fears. Yeah, that's what people do. Why do people even buy consoles at this point? I like consoles. I only play. I've tried to switch to PC gaming. It just doesn't work it just doesn't click. So I still play on my Xbox. But my kids have PlayStation, PS5s, and Xboxes. They're so fucking spoiled, but they still want PCs. And so that's why I told them, I was like, look, you guys have plenty of devices to play video games on, but I would love for you guys to learn how to code, even if you just learn it to learn it once, you never learn it again. I think there's so much value in learning to code, so much value in terms of being able to problem solve and think logically and clearly about things, and learn how to break big problems down into small problems. That's why I made the bet with them. I was like, look, I'm not going to buy you a PC just so you have another device to play video games on. But if you learn to code, if you prove to me that you will sit down and pick up a programming language, then I'll purchase a computer for you. First Shield, RAM price equals console. Yeah, First Shield, we were talking about this the other day. Apparently RAM pricing is now like fish market pricing. Oh, Bob's testing some more. Oh, Bob might have a working TUI by the time this is all said and done. I probably will purchase GTA 6. I purchased Arc Raiders on New Year's Eve, and I've been playing a lot of Arc Raiders the last couple of days. And that's been a ton of fun. It's very overwhelming, though. I was playing with my brother-in-law last night, the Arc Raiders game, and I was like, okay, this is a lot of fun, but I feel like I need to read a book to be good at this. I feel like there should be a manual. Let's see, Mark, you mentioned the Minecraft mods creation. I'm interested in that stuff, but not yet started. Any advice where I can learn? So we did a website called on the Minecraft mod stuff. I had signed up for a subscription to a website called, what was it called? Quota Kid, I think was what it was. I mean, this is probably not what you want to use, but it was since it was for my kid, I was trying to find something that was kind of oriented towards children. So I think it was called Quota Kid or something like this. Yeah, Quota Kid. And they basically have like courses and different courses, self-paced learning, and that's what we were using. But I'm sure there's like a free YouTube. I'm sure if I Google like Minecraft mod course or something, I'm sure there's a free YouTube course out there. The best way to introduce programming for kids is exposure. I like that idea. Parents work hard to give the children a better, easier life. Children lives an easy and better life. Parents, that's so lazy. Yeah, that's not a good way to treat your kids. That's not a good way to treat your kids. You shouldn't really call anyone lazy. I don't really believe in lazy. I believe in uninterested or unmotivated. right? Those are different problems. Lazy, the word lazy always connotes like a fundamental personality flaw. Like you're a lazy person, right? That just sounds horrible. It sounds terrible, awful, mean. It's like saying you're a bad person, right? It's not, you're not a bad person. Sometimes you do bad things, but you're not a bad person, right? That's just a bad way to talk about yourself. So you're not, I don't really believe in calling people lazy or calling yourself lazy. I think sometimes we just need to be honest and say, I'm not interested in this. I'm not motivated to do this. I don't have a drive to do this, right? Those are different problems. Those can be solved. And sometimes the solution is pick something else to do, right? Like if you're not interested in programming and coding, if you can't bring yourself to program and code every day, maybe you're not interested in it. Maybe you just don't like it. Maybe there's something else in the world that will light you up that you will want to spend your time doing every day, right? I think so many of us try to force a square peg into a round hole. First, see, I'm not a lazy person. I just do lazy things. Exactly. Like but I don't necessarily even think a lot of times laziness is the proper description. I think laziness it's a symptom, or like laziness is another word we use for not doing things we should or think we should be doing, right? And sometimes I think that's more of a symptom of like, I don't care about this thing. Like I tell my wife that a lot. Like my wife sometimes will say, I'm lazy. And I'm like, no, you're not lazy. You're not interested in that. And that's okay. Like you want to spend your time doing other things, right? I want to spend my time doing other things, and that's okay. I'm lazily productive. Command bar. Yo, what is your Discord server? Let's see. Command bar. Let me hook you up with it's really easy to remember. It's just discord.stephenfreeborn.com. Almost all my socials you can find that way, but I'll put it in the chat. Discord. If you do ! Discord too, it'll pop up for you, but I'll do it for you. There you go. Let's see. All right, chat's slowing down for a second here. Should we try to? Well, actually, hold on. I'm gonna go get some coffee, actually. So let's see. Let's do. Put the lo-fi generator up. I'm gonna go refill my coffee cup. So if you're gonna leave, if you're not gonna hang out because my chair is gonna be empty, that's totally okay. I understand. But I'm gonna run upstairs and refill my coffee cup. And then hopefully by the time I get back, hopefully Bob has a working chat TUI for all of us. Laziness is a good way to conserve energy, but sometimes in life you have to do boring and repetitive tasks. It's actually good for you. This is coming from a guy with ADHD, so that is something. Yeah, there is definitely a balance. I mean, there's definitely a balance, right? Like, we have to brush our teeth, right? We have to exercise. We have to do these things that are kind of like base needs that might not be super interesting. So I get the subtlety. There is subtlety there. I just hate when people. I think I just have a pet peeve of. I think lazy is such a. It's like kind of a throwaway word, like, and it's also used a lot of times. Lazy is used in a very negative way to like insult people, you know. And I just don't think people are inherently lazy. I think most people want to do. I think most people are born, and they want to do meaningful stuff, and they want to engage in the world, and they want to actually get better. I don't think most people just want to lay around and not do anything every day. And so I just don't believe people are just inherently designed that way, I guess. All right, I'll be right back, chat. I'm gonna go upstairs. If I come back and I start talking and there's no sound, it's because I forgot I was muted. So just spam "you're muted," and then I'll know. But I'll be right back. If you're gonna stay, this might be a good time to get some coffee too. Bob, don't leave your chair though. You need to finish that TUI. Also, if you finish the TUI, I'll probably still build my own TUI, but I would like to see your TUI too. And we're back. Bob Knowles too. He's gonna be famous, man. I think it'd be awesome to have a chat TUI like that. Coffee break. That's right. We were on a coffee break. So we're back. Stream chat YT. That's very cool, man. I love it. I'm gonna call mine term chat. I think I started. To be honest, I started to ideate around this unified chat TUI, Bob, because we have been talking about it the last few streams, and so I have an idea for like a new series of content where I do kind of like a development vlog where it's like an hour of hacking on one particular project, but off stream, so that way it can be kind of the focus of the video can actually be being productive, or the focus of the content is actually being productive versus engagement, which is kind of like streams are difficult for productivity because we're talking to chat. But yeah, so I started ideating on mine. I think I'm gonna call mine term chat, and I'm just gonna basically try to recreate StreamerBot's UI in the TUI. Steven, I've got username autocomplete now. YouTube mobile doesn't even have that. That's badass, dude. Yeah, see, like I think that'd be so cool. Like I would use it as a content creator. I would love to have a like a terminal open where I can basically do everything I'm doing over here. Right? This is the StreamerBot chat, which is really cool. I love this. This is awesome. Like obviously you're not going to really beat this type of graphical user interface with a TUI probably. But as somebody who a lot of their content and brand is built around working in the terminal right now at the moment, I think it would be cool, a very cool project to do. There's a C# library I found called Termina. Have any of you guys heard of this? I don't know how many of you guys are C# devs, but there's a library I found called Termina C#, and I think I'm going to use that. Where'd it go? I think it's called Termina. GitHub, maybe? GitHub. Yeah, this one. No, this isn't it. It's Aaron on the web is who built it. See if I can find it. There it is right there. I don't know why it wasn't showing up in those search results. But this is what I think I'm going to plan on using for the TUI aspect. It takes kind of a reactive, like event-driven type of programming model, which I feel like will be perfect for a chat application like that. But not to get distracted from the current project. I know I'm supposed to be working on a project, and I'm actively trying to plan another project. I was like, it's so stupid. I need to focus on finishing the one I started. That's what I need to do. Posted a screenshot. Oh, awesome. Fucking, this is so badass. Like, Bob is... I'm over here trying to build a simple form with 4 fields, and Bob's coding a TUI. Let's do this. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Let me see. Open in browser. Yeah. That is very cool, Bob. I love that. So this is, so what TUI library are you using, Bob? You're using, did you say Rat? Hold on, I think you put it in the chat. It connects to YouTube APIs and Rust using Ratatouille. That's badass, dude. Ratatouille. Very cool. I think that's awesome, man. And Claude Code, you're using Claude Code to help you do it? Claude Code, people keep saying Claude Code's amazing, man. Makes me wonder how far you could get with, you know, these types of applications that you want to build, these types of tools. I think you know, going back to the conversation about agentic coding really could be a gold rush for internal tooling at your company. You know, think like, I don't know how many of you guys are working, but like I can think of right now, like 3 or 4 tools in our company that we could probably really, really benefit from. But because of resourcing, they just never really get worked on, like resourcing and just like priority of other work. But if you could turn Claude Code loose on it, you know, like it's probably good enough because it's an internal tool. Like if it breaks, you know, I mean, granted, probably have to do some consideration for like what data, especially in like a corporate setting, like what data is it accessing and how's that application going to access it and what, like there's probably some governance, risk, and compliance things there. But like I said, if you could augment your developer team's bandwidth to build internal tools with something like Claude Code, I definitely see the value prop there for organizations and companies. Bob, it's all vibe coded through though with Claude Code. I handmade what it would look like in a text file and wrote a minimal spec. Very cool. And then did you just paste, or like the text file, did you just upload the text file with your spec and then said, hey, try to go for this as the directions or the prompt? That's awesome, man. I can't wait to see where you end up with it. I promise not to steal too much of your design while I build mine.
Did we just become best friends?
Next tab. Thanks for the follow, man. I really appreciate that. It's very kind of you. I'm building my own game right now. Honestly, I kind of regret it. Really? Yeah, I'm not a big game. The only game I've ever made is Snake. I made a website where you can play multiplayer Snake. That's the only game I've ever built, and it was okay. I mean, I guess I built that Number Bonds game for my kid, but it wasn't really a game in the traditional sense of like it doesn't have a game loop. But this actually has a loop where you can actually, this was the closest thing I got to game development. And it's kind of laggy. It's hosted on a free Azure app service plan, so it's a little laggy sometimes. But yeah, I don't know. Game development always seems cool, but I haven't actually it's never grabbed my attention the way it has for some other people. Like one of my coworkers at work, he's in the process of building a game with Unity, and he's ate up with game development in his free time. But it's not for me, I think. Maybe someday. Maybe I'll find the love for it at some point. That was back in 2022 is when I built that. It seems like a whole nother life. Mark Masala, off question. Is M2M auth good? Yes, let's say I'm managing 2 servers. So I guess I'm not familiar what's the specific M2, is M2M a protocol? I don't think I've ever heard of that. M2M auth protocol. Now I've heard of client. Now I've implemented client credentials in the OAuth framework before, so maybe that's what you're talking about. But I don't think I've ever heard I've never heard of specifically M2M auth. I don't know if that's like a generic term of art or something that I've just never heard of, or if it's a very specific protocol. But I think like implementing authentication between servers using something like client credential, like a client credential, is fine. Yeah, for sure. I gave a short description and said read spec.md and tui.txt and write up a plan. Nice. Very good. Good morning, Wilo Gamer Pro. Yes, we have a new camera angle. We've got a lot of things happening on stream now. We've got the vertical scene that you see now. We've got the new camera angle. We've got a unified chat experience on screen. We're streaming to YouTube vertically. We're streaming to YouTube horizontally for members. So members of the YouTube channel can watch ad-free horizontal streams. And then I'm also streaming to Twitch. So if you want a horizontal stream, but you don't want to pay, you don't want to become a member of my YouTube channel, then you can go over to Twitch if you'd like to do that. And Twitch you can find at twitch.stephenfreeborn.com. So we've got a lot of stuff happening with the stream at the beginning of the new year. Trying out some new stuff, and so far I think it's going pretty well. Ilmani, I didn't realize it's that hard to make games. It can be hard. Yeah, it can definitely be hard. I think there's a lot of tools that try to make it a lot easier, lower effort, but I still think it's difficult. I think it's difficult because it really requires a large number of skills, right? Like you've got to be good at programming, good at coding, good at design, good at user experience, good at artwork, right? You've got to be good at all these disciplines. There's a guy on Twitch. Ilmanian, if you're into game development, I don't know if it sounds like maybe you're falling out of love with game development, but there's a guy on Twitch who is really fun to watch build games. His name's Adam.
I need to give me banana.
Adam C. Giannis, I think is his. Adam C. Giannis. And my favorite thing about watching him build is because he's a good programmer, but he's also a good artist. Like he does pixel art, which is, I think, super impressive. I'm very fascinated by people who are good at drawing and making art and stuff. But he does both, and so he like develops his games on stream, and it's really pleasant to sit in and watch. So if you're interested in that type of content, I think he's been on the Primogens YouTube channel before. I think he helped build that tower defense game with them. I think that's where I found his stuff. But he's pretty awesome. Mark, yes, it was the client credentials, but tokens only used by the machines, not the clients as users. I'm trying to connect another app without exposing it too much. I don't know if it was a great solution. I'm still trying to read more about it, though. I think client credentials is the traditional flow. If you're trying to authenticate a machine to machine in the OAuth framework, I think client credential is pretty common. That's the way to do it. Like if you have an application, like if your backend is trying to talk to another service backend without a user being involved, the client credential flow is, I think, typically what you use. Steven, I'm not patient enough. Can I have one-to-one chat session? How much will it cost? We will both be just app about computer science and stuff. I'm not going to charge you to talk to me, but I'm probably also not going to make time for like a one-on-one session. I mean, maybe if you catch me in Discord sometime, we can link up in the Discord chat. We have a hanging out channel for Discord. Maybe we can hang out in the Discord voice channel sometime. But I'm not going to charge you to talk to me. I'm not that important, man. Nothing I say is worth that much. All right, let's try to maybe do a little development here. What were we doing? I think we were loading more data. Okay, so whenever we click the button, we basically need to make a new fetch. Yeah, we need to make a new fetch. However, we basically need to do this same logic, right? So we need to perform the same thing. So I think I kind of want to extract at least some of that logic. it's interesting because what I actually don't know if what I did is the right thing to do. Because really what I should be doing on the page is I should be building up this payment, this list of payments on the page. And so when the page initially starts, we're loading the payment data. Then when I click the button, I basically want to go through that same loading flow again. And the only thing I really want to do is I want to capture I'm kind of thinking I want to separate the state out of this thing. Suas, did I just invent a podcast? Every day we will take a new category development, talk about it. You should do that. You should definitely start a podcast. Find a friend, find a buddy, start a podcast for sure. You need someone else to ask you questions, talk about stuff, so I can do that for you. What about making it live? I do not have the bandwidth to do a podcast with somebody. Like I'm streaming 2.5 hours every day, and then all the other stuff that I got going on. I don't think I have the bandwidth for another thing, but I think it sounds like a really cool idea. Sounds like content people would be interested in watching. It's weekend. How much is the fish? Let's go. Good morning, Gun Highs. It is the weekend. I don't know how much the fish is. We're going to have to run down to Micro Center and find out what they're charging for RAM today. Mark, what coffee you had there? So this is, if I'm drinking coffee, 9 times out of 10, it's the brand is 8 o'clock coffee. I just buy a big ass bag of their dark Italian espresso roast at Walmart. It's like relatively inexpensive, and like I think I buy the 10-ounce bag maybe. It's relatively inexpensive. It brews fine. It tastes fine, and I can buy it at Walmart when I go grocery shopping every week. So it's readily available. So 9 times out of 10, this is what I'm making or brewing, grinding. I don't know what you want to call it. Those are the beans I'm using, and then most of the time I make one of these. It's called a long black. But I know that's it's kind of a dangerous YouTube search. But it's I guess it's something that the Australians and the New Zealanders popularized. So it's basically the inverse of an Americano. So you add your water and then you take your shot over the top of the water instead of vice versa. That's what I have in my cup at the moment, right here. And I have it in an Ember mug, which I'm not sponsored, but if you know anybody at Ember, please let them know. I will happily shill their products for them. I am a very happy customer of theirs. Good morning, Stephen. Fish is a acronym. Who knows, then knows. Scooter, FTW. Scooter for what it's worth. So whenever you guys see the abbreviation FTW, what comes to mind for you guys? Whenever you see FTW, do you see for the win? Yeah, okay, for the win, or do you see fuck the world? Because when I see FTW, I see fuck the world. Yeah, so Bob agrees with me. Yeah, so I used to see FTW, and I always think fuck the world, but I'm finding out it doesn't actually mean that anymore. Now people use it for the win. I almost pulled my headphones out of my 4 tears wasted. Well, Jan Lu, that's just a whole different kind of thing. F the what? Fuck yeah, see, okay, so some people, I'm not alone. Some people actually think what I think. That's good. That's good. I like it when I'm not alone on these things. I love that statement. Yeah. My favorite F word statement is fuck it. Fuck it. Gun Highs. Oh my gosh, now I can't see it. I can't unsee it. You mean you can't unsee what that abbreviation stands for? Also, Gun, thanks for being a member, man. I appreciate you. Because I think file transfer protocol people, I think file transfer protocol but a lot of people think F the police. Oh, well, FTP? FTP, you know me. Yeah, that's a whole different conversation, isn't it? Gun, sure. No need to thank every time. I'm good. All right, man. I won't thank you, but I do appreciate you, and I see you. So I just want to make sure you know that. I accidentally used the F word in front of my dad, and he got so mad. Oh, really? So my wife and I, we've permitted our kids. I curse a lot. If you hang out in the stream, you know that I curse quite a bit. I curse less here than I probably do in my normal life. And me and my wife have been pretty liberal with our children that, you know, cuss words are words and they have a time and a place. And we're pretty much okay with you saying those words as long as they're not used in mean, hurtful, derogatory ways, the same way you shouldn't use other words that aren't cuss words. Obviously, you know, we coach them that, like, you know, it's not appropriate to do that at school, right? There's settings and places where we have to modulate our language. But yeah, we don't. Our children are permitted to cuss, so. Yanlu, have we gotten anything done today? My assumption is no. I have not gotten anything done today. I've been yapping the whole time. It's either yap with you guys or ignore you guys. Can you tell my dad the difference between a swear word and a slur? Yeah, there's definitely a difference. Those are two different things, 100%. Yeah, one is a word that we use to emphasize a point or meaning or express something. Another one is used to demean others and to put others down and to make others feel less than and mean and badly about themselves. It's appropriate to cuss out the teacher when they hit you. Every conversation comes back to context, and it depends, doesn't it? I have a problem with discriminating someone properly. If I am mad and my phone does not work properly, let me say it. I don't care if you guys just do it. Just don't do it in front of the teachers or other parents. They don't think we're bad parents. It's fine. They're totally allowed to cuss in front of parents. It's not allowed at their school, right? They'll get in trouble at their school. So we tell them, like, look, teachers are not going to be okay with you using that language there. Just like I can't use certain language where I work, right? So it's like you do have to learn that free speech is free, but only to a point if you want to kind of be in certain spaces with other people. But yeah, I'm okay with them cussing in front of other people. We've had to have conversations with, like, our parents and stuff about it, you know, basically tell them, like, look, we're not trying to raise sailors, but, like, our kids, we are okay with our kids swearing. We swear, and it would be pretty hypocritical of us to be like, well, I swear, so, like, you don't swear, right? So to me, they're just words. It's all in how you use them. So if you use bad words to be mean and derogatory to another human, just the same way you can use non-bad words, quote unquote non-bad words, that's a problem, right? But if you're like, hey, I fucking love you, Dad, I fucking love you too, son. Why don't you just code without streaming? I feel like that would be faster. Oh, 100% it would be faster. Ilmani, it would be faster, 100%. I just work on other stuff. When I'm not streaming, I just have been working on other things. So this project is only getting attention when I stream. My idea, though, I will tell you guys, I do have kind of been planning the last couple weeks. I do think I'm going to start a series on YouTube of videos that are like daily vlogs, which is basically I'm going to time box an hour of my day on a project, and I'm just going to sit down and basically have this same sort of setup that I stream with, but I'm actually going to be focused on making progress for that hour on a project, and then I'm going to turn that into a video, and I'm going to try to do it every day if I can, but basically frequently just uploading essentially what is a development log or development vlog, whatever you want to call it, to my YouTube channel. So if that's content you might be interested in watching, you might be seeing some videos coming like that are very much this style, but instead of having like 10 conversations with 10 different people while trying to also work on a project, it'll be like me talking out loud while working on a project. So, and actually making more meaningful productivity, and the reason why I want to make those types of videos is because those are the types of videos I want other people to make. Like, I would love to just sit for an hour and watch John Carmack code, right? Like, I just want to observe how other people do their work, because I think there's so much that can be picked up just through like osmosis, through like watching the habits of others and listening to how they think about solving a problem. So in the effort of trying to be the change you want to see in the world, I figure I'll take the first step and try to see if I can make content that might inspire other people to make similar content like that. Whoops. Wrong scene. Steven, I don't really care about your code. I just want to chat. Well, we can do that in First off, thank you for being so blatantly honest that you do not care about my productivity. Yanlu, free speech means you can say anything. It doesn't mean you should. Yes, this is accurate. This is an accurate statement. And so that's what we're trying. We're trying to help our children understand that. You know, we're trying to help them. Okay, so I basically need to walk back what I did. Right? Mike the Mad, what up, dude? What up, Mike the Mad? How are you? How's Twitch? How's it hanging over there on Twitch? I'm relatively new to the... Well, I'm not new to the Twitch space. I used to stream on Twitch. That's where I originally started streaming, was on Twitch. Then I stopped because it's kind of quiet over there for a new streamer, man. It's hard to find some viewership. You can emote on Twitch, and I'm glad for you. I'm happy that you can emote. But it's very hard to find people to chat with over there on Twitch for new guys. If you're not one of those big time streamers. Which I am not. I am not a big time streamer. I'm a little streamer. I'm a small streamer. So small. They want the monies. Yeah. Yeah, Twitch is honestly not very... It's not very nice. And to me, it's kind of puzzling because I think Twitch honestly has the market cornered in terms of like a streaming platform, particularly for... I mean, definitely for gaming, but particularly I think for coding and programming content. It's like when people think of programming and coding live streams, and I think when they think of gaming live streams, I think they think of Twitch. But they're really, it's like super invested in making it a space for like their existing creators and not really new organic reach for new creators. I guess, I don't know. So I stopped streaming there for like a whole year, and then I just started streaming back there just recently.
Did we just become best friends?
LLBBL, thank you for the follow. Hope you're doing well. Twitch keeps recommending me VR chat twerking streams, and I don't know why. Okay, that's a whole different kind of stream. That's not anything I would have watched, but you know, you do you, right? You do you. I'm not gonna judge. I'm not gonna judge. Not gonna judge at all. All right, I'm gonna walk back what I did. This is gonna be data.payments. I'm going to walk this back. So we're not going to keep track of the entire page. Yeah, we're not going to keep track of the entire page. So what we are going to do, though, is we are going to have what are we going to have, I guess? I guess what I'm trying to say is I don't know what to call this. Basically, what I want to do is I want to keep track of the total payments that we've loaded on the page, but then I want to keep track of the current page number that we've loaded to, right? So basically, I want to represent the fact that I have okay, so maybe what we do here is instead of keeping track of a payments array, we keep track of an array of pages. That probably makes more sense, actually, now that I think about it. So we keep track of a payment page, and then we can do pages. And then we can map over the pages. How do you do in React? What is it to do derived state? How do you do derived state in React? So like I want a state variable that's dependent and reactive based on another piece of state, derived state in React. I don't remember how to do that. I accidentally read sit instead of shit. Hold on. Let me look. Mark, I'm going now. Thanks for your time and advice. See y'all chat. See you, Mark. Thanks for hanging out with us, man. Appreciate that. Okay, hold on. I completely left chat there for a second, so I got to catch up. Twitch keeps. I read that one. Let's see. You just dual stream, or is there another place you are normally on? So I stream on Twitch, YouTube, and then I stream vertically. So I stream vertically on YouTube, horizontally for members on YouTube, and then I stream horizontally for anyone on Twitch. Those are the 3 streams I currently have live. And right now that's as much as I plan to do at the moment. I hate text-to-speech. Oh, really? I love text-to-speech. It's like my favorite thing about streams. I was so happy when I got text-to-speech working for my own stream. It's the best. It's the best. I just like to use it just to do funny stuff. It's so fun. I love text-to-speech. I just like to do stuff like this.
I love text-to-speech.
That sounded funny. I don't know why it read it that way.
I love text-to-speech.
Wait, is there multiple YouTube places to chat? How come you can't see the other messages? I'm on member stream. Yeah, so member stream is horizontal, and the vertical stream is. So these are 2 separate streams. You can't. YouTube doesn't allow you to unify those stream chats.
TSS is best.
That's the best text-to-speech message I've ever gotten on stream. That's so fun, dude. Like, I mean, if you can't laugh at that shit, like, holy shit, you know, like, fuck, that's so funny. So okay, let's ask Gemini. So does React not have a computed function? Also, that was definitely a text-to-speech. Yeah, text-to-speech rocks, man. That's my favorite thing. Also, thanks for the super chat. Appreciate you, Bob. You're the man. So does React not have a computed function like in Vue? And if not, what should I use to recreate that same type of derived state? Someone I know gifted me their iPhone and MacBook box. Why did they gift you the box? That seems weird. Also, Spacebacks, John Madden is the man. Yeah, I don't want to do use effect. Let's see, in React, you handle this through derived state. Since React is just JavaScript and reruns your component function on every render, you have two primary ways to recreate this behavior. The standard way. If your calculation is simple, like concatenating, you can just need a special, you simply calculate the value during the render phase. Okay. So I guess what I would do is I would say then, let's see, const payments equals payments, yeah, success. Yep, just like that. Okay, and then I can just use that down here and I'll still have reactivity. It's been so long since I've written any React code. Let's see. Why is that erroring? An error occurred. Let's see, type error. Can't access property flat map. Oh, is flat map not supported? Flat map. JavaScript. It should be supported. Why is it not supported? Oh, because of this. Because this should be see, we're gonna set the data like that. Yeah, so this is the first. It's gonna run. This is gonna render the first time. And this is gonna be pages. There we go. Need to close some windows, don't I? There we go. Okay, so now what we can do is then we can have some other variables to track our state like that. And so we'll say, those are all our payments. Then we'll say const current page number. Yep, like that. Which is good. And then let's do handle function. Yep, we only want to return if it's loaded. We're going to fetch more payments. We're going to get the next number. If res okay. Yep. Get the data. Append it to the pages. Catch the error. Property pages does not exist on type payment data. Or hold on, why did it do that? That's wrong, Copilot. Don't do that. You can just do this in the top level. You don't need to wrap this. So we can say yeah, there we go. And then we'll come down to our button and we'll wire this up. So we'll say button oh, I think someone's up. I hear footsteps above me. Type equals button disabled if current page is greater than total number of pages. Oh, that's good. So now I think if we come back to our site, we should be able to click load more, load more, load more, load more, load more. And we probably don't even want to show this if we've loaded everything, right? So let's make the button not visible. So actually, instead of, so we'll say if current page, yep. No, we'll say if current page is equal to the total page number, then we will show our button. Or no, we'll return null. Otherwise, we'll show our button. And that's how we'll kind of indicate that you've reached the end of the list. Wonderful. So now there should be no more button. Load more, load more, load more, load more. Nice. It works. We have a way to page on the client, but we're going to reset the page size to 50. We're just going to use the default page size here. We still need to fix that, those individual. I don't like how we're displaying the payment here. We need to fix this. We need like a payment card or a donation card. Donation. I'm using them interchangeably, but really this is a payment. Let's do rename previous. Yeah, I'll just do donation card. Export default function, donation card. And then we'll return just a donation card for now. See, this feels bad to ignore you guys like that. See, I feel bad ignoring chat. Ross, greetings. Hello, Ross. Sorry I missed your chat a second ago. Also, I love Oh My Posh. Yes, it is the best. Oh My Posh is wonderful. I meant speech to text. I am trying to chat and it's getting... Oh, speech to text versus text to speech. Okay. Yeah, speech to text on my iPhone is very good. Speech to text on my Android phone is not super good. I use speech to text all the time on my iPhone, but not on my Android. Oh, sorry, Fox Hill, I completely missed your message. Hello, I just started learning coding in C++. I finished a basic tutorial, but I have no idea where to go next. Any tips? For people that are learning to code, I always send them to freecodecamp.org, Fox Hill. If you're still here, let's see, you're probably on the vertical YouTube, aren't you? Fox Hill, yeah. Fox Hill, if you're still here, I don't know if you actually are still here. Freecodecamp.org. That's completely different than what you've been learning in that C++ tutorial, but that's where I send everybody who wants to learn to code. I think that's the best place to start. We are built. Yep, that's what we're doing. I exceeded my YouTube API quota. RIP Tui. I'll try again tomorrow. That's hilarious. No! Come back, API quota. Oh, that's interesting. So there's a quote. So what's the quota system? A dot in the cosmos. What's going on? We are building a donation site here, like a buy me a coffee page, but using the Stripe API. We're building it ourselves instead of just signing up for one of those services that do it for us. More as a learning exercise than anything. Bob Knoll, build a local AI to read chat and text to speech you a summary every couple minutes, or it should interrupt if there's something important. Oh, that's kind of interesting. That's kind of interesting idea. I always feel bad though, just ignoring you guys. I can see the chat moving from the side of my eye, and I kind of feel bad ignoring, but that's the only way that code will actually get written. Quota 5 units per API call, 10,000 units per day. So can you get more units? Like how does StreamerBot get around that, right? Because we've got to be using a lot of calls right now. You should start using markers, motion, or rebind CUD to CUDZ. Also, Doodoo, thanks. Nice username, Doodoo. Which if that's your real name, I apologize. I don't mean to make fun of your real name, but I think you know why that made me laugh. So are you talking about in NeoVim I need to do that? And what is the benefit of those? You need to start using markers, motion, or rebind. I think I blew through it at the beginning of the project because it was polling too fast. Oh, okay. So 5 units per API call, and you get 10,000 per day, which that means, what is that math? That's divided by 5. That's only 2,000 calls a day? Really? How do you make that work for chat? That seems like way too few for chat. So if you have 2,000 chat messages, you're done? That seems too low. How long did it take you to transition to NeoVim? What do you miss most about traditional IDEs? So I just want to be transparent. Like, I still use traditional IDEs. Like, I have VS Code installed on my machine and I still use it. I have Visual Studio, I use that. I also have Writer installed on my machine. So I do use traditional IDEs for sure still. And I use them occasionally when tasks aren't well suited for NeoVim. Like, I only use Visual Studio for work, the work solution that I work on at work. I use Visual Studio quite a bit for any type of Razor pages or Razor syntax in the .NET ecosystem. If I have to do any type of profiling, I'm using Visual Studio. If I have to do any type of like multi-threaded debugging, I'm going to use Visual Studio. Like, there are just some tasks that those tools are better suited to. As far as things I miss about as far as things that I miss, so I don't miss anything because when I need something, I just use the traditional IDs, right? I'm not married to NeoVim. NeoVim's not my life partner. Like, I don't have to be, I can use this. I can be editor amorous as much as I want. So I still use those tools. As far as the transition, the hardest part of the transition from going from something like Visual Studio Code to NeoVim was the Vim motions. So navigating the code and switching between the different modes, hands down, that was the toughest thing. And in my opinion, the only way you get through that is just you got to power through it. You got to commit and you got to work through it. It's going to be slow at first. It's going to be painful. You're going to have to like trial and error it, right? And figure it out. And I'm still slow and I still make mistakes and I'm still learning new Vim motions every day. But I don't think there's a better way to do it. Doo-doo is my nickname. I know how it sounds in English. Okay, fair enough. I'm not going to make fun of it anymore then, man. Because if that's your nickname, I honor that and I respect that and I'm not going to make fun of it. Steven, can you make a bot so that messages in the Twitch chat copy and paste into YouTube chat and vice versa so that we can talk? Oh, that's kind of an interesting idea. So a bot that bridges across the different streams? Huh. That's kind of an interesting solution. So like YouTube right now doesn't do a good job of integrating chats. So that would almost be like a YouTube chat integrator. I don't think I want to take YouTube chat and put it on Twitch or put Twitch chats on YouTube. Like you can see it on the screen in that case. But I do think it's kind of interesting to have like a unified chat experience for the YouTube streams. I think that's kind of interesting. Bob Knoll, it may be super low because it's in testing mode or something. Yeah, maybe. I'll have to do some research because that kind of kills my motivation for doing a TUI if that's, I mean, 2,000 messages is like nothing, right? 2,000 API calls is nothing for a messaging app that has to pull. Because I don't think YouTube has a WebSocket client. I think you have to do it all over polling. There's a form you fill out in GCP to get increased usage on YT API. You have to provide a use case and justification. So if your use case is I just want to use your API to do TUI API, is that? Oh, I mean, is that? Do you think they will approve that? Poly editor amorous, exactly that, Bob Knoll. That's reassuring. I'm considering moving over. Good. Yeah, I would take the plunge. I mean, it took me 2 years. It took me 2 years to work up the courage to try NeoVim. I was really concerned that I wouldn't be able to recreate a test explorer and test runner or a debugger in NeoVim because the guy that I primarily watched code in NeoVim is the Primeagen. And if you've watched him code, he pretty much does like CLI. He runs all his code pretty much through the CLI and he very rarely uses a debugger, right? He almost always does printf debugging. And writing tests and debugging my tests is a very important part of my workflow to me personally. So it took the thing that convinced me to try it, which I guess I should share this. The thing that convinced me to try it, a dot in the cosmos, was this series of videos from this gentleman on YouTube named Typecraft, which you might already be familiar with him. He makes a lot of cool Linux mechanical keyboard NeoVim content. Typecraft, much better YouTuber than I am, that's for sure. He made a series called NeoVim for Noobs right here. This was the thing that convinced me to take the plunge. So maybe this can be helpful to you too. Where are you at? You're over there on the YouTubes, right? Let's see. Yeah, you're over here. So at a dot in the cosmos. There you go. Maybe that'll be helpful. I recently moved over to Arch Linux, considering going full Primeagen with NeoVim. Go for it, man. Full send. Thank you. Yeah, of course. Yeah, that was very helpful. He shows setting up a debugger in that thing, and when he showed that, I was like, okay, I'm in. I'm gonna do this. My configs are also if you guys want to. My configs are. Whoops, I probably shouldn't paste that to everybody. My configs are here. Neovim. On JetBrains IDEs, I jump from file to file with that similar to the Primegen Harpoon, but simpler. Nice. So someone said markers will allow, this was what Dudu was saying, markers will allow you to jump to the exact line you marked instead of just using JK. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it because this is this type of stuff that Butterscotch, one of my other chatters, asked me to do, and I just always forget it. So you're saying, I usually just, if I need to jump multiple times, I usually just do Control U or Control D. But you're saying you want to jump to specific lines, huh? Maybe I need to try it. I don't know. My Vimfu is like a white belt level. I'm like a white belt at Vimfu. And I watch other people work, and they are way further along in their journey than I am. And that's okay. I've got many more years ahead of me to be good at this. All right, my naming in this project is trash. I've got donation, I've got payment, I've got types called payment, but I've got a component called donation card that renders a payment. And then I have a payment form, which is what I'm calling the Stripe form, but this really should be a checkout form, shouldn't it? All right, we're gonna do some renaming. We're gonna do some renaming. So the donation form is gonna be called payment form. Oh, whoops. Oh, no. Payment form is going to become checkout form. And let's see. Donation form is going to become payment form. Steven, do you know there are semiconductors in space? There's a British company which does that. That's very cool. Yeah, that's very cool. I did not know that, but that's cool. And this is going to be payment card. And this is going to be previous, not card. This isn't a card anymore. This is a list. So this is going to be previous payments list. Okay, that makes more sense to me now. Now we just have to rename all this stuff. So this is now checkout form. This becomes checkout form. This becomes payment form. This becomes previous payments list. This becomes the default export. Let's see, there should be a checkout form, there should be a payment form. Module has no default export. Oh, yep. Export default function like that. All right, now everyone's happy. However, these functions are named incorrectly. So this should be payment form. This should be checkout form. This is where refactoring and some other tool I think might be better, because this is refactoring and Neovim is not as previous payments list. Checkout form, payment card, donation card. Oops. Alright, there we go. Okay, now payment card is going to define the payment type. I think that makes the most sense. Control U. And then we can export that. And then we'll use that over here. Okay, everyone's happy there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take what we currently have rendering out down here for our payments list. And we're going to say, this is wonderful, thank you very much. But we're going to put that in a separate card here. And this will be a div. We're going to dump all that. Oh, I always forget that. See this. Yank. Put that there. We don't need li. And then here what we're going to do is we're going to say, give me a payment. And now everyone's happy. And then we'll go back to our payment list and we'll replace this with a payment card. And now we need to style that payment card. All right, so I don't like the use of the strong tag there. I don't like the use of the emphasis tag. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do some let's see, so let's do, I think I'm gonna kind of mimic what Buy Me a Coffee does. So I think what I'll do is I'll have the card will be like this. We'll have some sort of placeholder image here. And then we'll do maybe the amount. We'll do like the amount here. Or no, probably name, right? We probably want to do, whoops, I didn't mean to exit out of that. So we'll have, whoops. A card of this. We'll do name, and maybe then the amount next to the name. And then the message. Do the message here. Yeah. I think that's what we'll aim for on the card. So let's do class name equals payment card. That's fine. And then let's delete all this stuff real quick. So we're going to have a div, which is going to be, so we're going to have the left side and the right side. The left side is going to contain the image, and the right side is going to contain all the other information. So we'll have payment, let's say left, and then we'll have div class name equals right. Be helpful if I could write HTML, huh? Steven, how do you decide to read a message or not read a message? There isn't any logic behind it? Not really. I just I try to code a little bit, and then I look up and I try to remember where the heck I was the last time I was reading chat, and then I try to go back and find the one, and then yeah, there's no logic to it. And I'm not saying I'm particularly good at it or that I shouldn't have logic to it. I just kind of vibe it out. I'm a vibe streamer. You know how some of you vibe code? I vibe stream. I just vibe it out. I wish it was more scientific than that, but it's not. Wow, is it really 7:41? Dude, these streams are going by faster and faster and faster. I don't know if it's because there's actual people to talk to now when I stream that they go by faster or what, but they do go by much, much faster. I appreciate all of you who come and hang out and keep me company. It sure does make these streams way more interesting and way more fun to do. All right, well, considering chat has slowed down quite a bit and it's already 7:45, I think this might be a good natural ending point for the stream. I know I didn't really again code very much, but it was fun. I've got my kid has a birthday party today at some point, so I think I might hop off here and use some of my morning to write some code and make some content. But I really appreciate you guys. I hope you guys know that. Like, I spent like the first 2 or 3 months of streaming just like talking to myself in an empty room, and it was fine, but it's much more interesting to talk to you guys and learn from you all. And I appreciate you guys giving me your time so much. Really appreciate it. Steven chat is moving. Yeah. Yeah, we need, according to Bob, we need to code up some AI tool that's going to alert us and say, hey, Steven, stop coding. Someone has something really important to say. Jisoo, hey, how are you? Well, Jisoo, how are you doing? Thanks for stopping in and leaving a message. Thanks for being a member, too. Suash, you don't really realize it, but you are a really interesting person. Well, that's too kind. That's more, I think I'm probably less interesting than you probably think. I'm just a 32-year-old dad in his basement in Kansas, just trying to do things that he enjoys. Shabaja Dylan. Hello, Shabaja Dylan. Space Facts, thanks for the stream. Of course, yeah, I'm here every morning, 4:15 to 7 a.m. I'm here every morning, so if you are enjoying my streams, I know that's kind of a weird time for a lot of people, especially if you're in the States. 4:15 to 7 a.m. is really early, but as a dad and as a working person, you know, I have a 40-hour week day job. That's the best time of day that I can commit to being really consistent with streaming. Otherwise, it's too easy for it to get pushed out by other things in the day. So I appreciate y'all being here. Okay, normal wrap up. I apologize for those of you who are coming in at the end of the stream, but we're going to do our normal wrap up. So if you're new here and you like the vibes of the stream and you want to come back and hang out, we are live, like I said, every morning. I'll just drop my schedule in the chat here. We are live every morning from 4:15 a.m. Central Time to about 7 a.m. Central Time. Sometimes on the weekends like today, I'll go a little bit later just because there's nothing else going on. And I'd much rather like just hang out with you guys and write code. If you want to interact outside of the stream, the best place to find us is in our Discord, and I'll drop that link in the chat. It's a very easy link to remember. Just go to discord.stevenfreeborn.com, and you're welcome to join. No pressure. You don't have to, but if you'd like to, please jump in. And other than that, all I'll leave you guys with is I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful Saturday. And if it's already Sunday for you, I hope you have a wonderful Sunday. And I'll be back tomorrow morning, and I hope to see you there. If I don't see you there, that's okay. Maybe I'll catch you in the comments of a video or a short. Willie, bye, man. Nice lurking here again. Of course, you're welcome to lurk anytime you want. Lurkers are welcome. We actually have a special command for you guys. You can come to the chat and just activate lurking with the exclamation point lurk. And you'll let us know you're here and that you're just hanging around. All right. I'll see you guys. Bye, Suhas. Bye, Duck Boy. Bye, Jisoo. Bye, Willie. Who else is here? Bye, Shabaj. Bye, SpaceVax. Bye, Jisoo. Bye, LeBabel. 199. Good to see you again, dude. Hope you're doing well. Good luck with all your learnings. A Dot in the Cosmos. I encourage you to check out Neovim. You can do it, man. You'll love it. You'll really appreciate learning Vim motions, I think. I think I caught everybody. I think everybody that was here recent. Bye, Bob. Appreciate you, Bob. See you, man. Bye, guys. Bye, chat. Bye. See y'all. You guys have a good day.